Hello, everyone, and welcome to Answer the Call. We're back. I'm back from my wedding in New Jersey, and Croncy is back from a day off, a Sunday off, which is good. Some sleep, but
Well, it was interesting. It was a Sunday of actually playing Star Citizen for like 6 hours.
there you go. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's probably not a bad stream either, right?
Mm.
But yeah, so we're back, and this is Answer the Call. I forgot how to do this. So this is Answer the Call. It's a podcast where me and Croncy talk about Star Citizen stuff, and then we open up our Discord, which is the call part to you guys. Basically, giving up our platform for you so you guys can be heard and your thoughts about whatever subjects we're talking about today. Today, we're probably going to be talking mostly about 4.8 Evo stuff, 4.7.2, the Drake Defense Con thing, and maybe a couple other minor things. But yeah, so just a kind of a wide range of topics. I don't think it'll be too long of a podcast because things happen, but nothing like super crazy impactful or super exciting, at least from my perspective did. But we start the podcast with what have you been up to? So it's been a couple weeks. What's up with you guys? What's up with you down under?
At least this past week has been the first week of me training for my wife to go back to work and for me to take over as like primary caretaker for a couple of days a week.
Yeah.
Which means I've been waking up at 7 a.m. For context, the podcast starts right now at midnight. And I am often awake at this time. So that's where I'm at. I am now like 5 hours of sleep in the morning type thing, and dealing with that, which is good fun. But at the same time, I also got to play in a big Riftbound tournament yesterday. Managed to top 8. My mate who was running the store put it on stream, and I was like, "Oh, I'll go tag like my Discord and whatnot, tell them all to come watch me." And then I ended up winning that one. Lost one of the ones off stream, and then later I realized I'd been cheating all day and playing a card completely wrong. And I kind of feel good I didn't win the whole thing now because that would have been bad.
Oh shit! Damn.
Yep.
Okay.
So that was fun.
Okay. Using Night City in Riftbound. That's pretty messed up, dude. That's kind of messed up.
How about yourself? How was your trip?
Oh, it was fun. So my little cousin got married, and she's like the only girl and on our side of the family, so it's like a big deal and everything. And how I've been describing the wedding was Jersey Shore, but very classy. So it was like a shit show.
So Jersey Shore.
Yeah. Well, no, Jersey Shore is not classy at all. It's like the scumbags of like the area.
I've seen Americans. I assumed it doesn't get any better than that.
Nah, so it was like super classy. It was really good. The food was amazing and everything, and the ceremony was cute and all that stuff. But then when it was time to party, they partied pretty hard. Emmy had an amazing time. I just sat there and waited for it to be over. I said, the meme in the corner with the party hat. They don't know.
Because the 4.8 in Evo Cardi.
Yeah, I was just sitting there like that, and just waited for it to be over. But spent a ton of time with my family. It was the first time. Me and my wife and my brother and his girlfriend were in the same place at the same time. Like my parents have met her, but no, our whole family hasn't been together at once. So that was really nice.
Yeah.
And he's been dating her for a while, so it's like obviously a serious thing, and so it's good to meet her. And just did not think about Star Citizen once, and then have come back. So in the context of today's episode, I have come back from vacation and went. I kind of felt like a little burned out from streaming a bit. Just like streaming Star Citizen, like mining is so awful. And and I've just not been having that much fun. And I went, what would be fun is to experience 4.8 for the first time on stream. Instead of I know everything, I'm in Evo, it's like a second job because it's always at the like ungodly hours for me, like when I go to bed and things like that. So like I just don't want to participate in it anymore with these late at night things. It's so annoying. So I just was like, I'm not downloading Evo. I did jump into Arena Commander just to see to try to see the command module undock, and it didn't even work. And I went, I made the right choice. I'm not going to play this at all. I want to experience it for the first time in Wave 1. And that's where we're at. I've obviously read the notes. I can speculate on some of like our experiences and what they could be. There's some super exciting things in 4.8, but I've not touched it. So you're my I've
Yeah.
not seen strike groups. I don't want to see strike groups at all. I don't
Yeah.
care about being told what it's like or anything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
I
Experiencing
just
it's obviously very different.
yeah, I just want to experience it for the first time
Yeah.
on stream and have some fun with that.
Which also kind of same, but mostly that's because I don't have friends, and so it's really hard to do strike groups in Evo without friends. Let's
Yeah.
get started there.
Okay.
Let's get started with 4.8 because we're already in the middle of talking about it. So
Sure.
it's been an Evo for what 4 or 5 days, a couple of different patches, and apparently Wave 1 candidates in the last like few days as well. So assume a Wave 1 this week where we'll be
Yeah.
able
Like
to get a
potentially
bunch of people in.
today.
Yeah, they have been doing those more and more the weekend patches. So obviously the big thing about 4.8 is the strike groups that we saw in CitizenCon last year. I got to experience it today, but only in the terms of going to the location,
Okay.
experiencing the start of the mission, and then me dying a lot because I was unable to do it in a group. And yeah, you do need a
Okay.
group,
That's
which
great
good.
news. Why do you die a lot?
Exactly, yeah.
Just a lot of
So if you're in
NPCs.
too big of a ship, you have these massive turrets that are going to target you, and they
Yeah.
will take you down.
Are they
If
do
you're
they have like
in,
that purple thing that we saw? Like, did it look like what they showed us at CitizenCon, or was it just like big
I
turrets?
didn't see the like projectiles or anything that they were shooting at me. I
Okay.
just like saw me die basically.
Yeah.
But the actual turret itself is huge. It is
Got it.
enormous. Um, and you can like go down to it with like a heavy fighter. It won't target you, and you can start shooting at it. I spent maybe 3 minutes shooting at it. Couldn't tell if I was doing much damage to it because the UI had been bugged, just for like that turret. But I do want to talk about the UI as well in a sec.
You
Um,
can't destroy that, right? Don't you have to do something else to destroy it? Like there's these steps.
probably,
They say it
probably
at
like
CitizenCon.
the yeah
You have to destroy
yeah the
something to take the shield down, and then you could kill that turret, and then you could bring in your big ship, something like that.
yeah I believe it. The whole start of it is like, hey, kill some like fighter NPCs to start off with, and
Uh
then
huh.
kill some power relays. And if you remember, the
Ah,
power
the
relays are the
power
ones where it's
relays
like, hey,
would.
bring your like retaliators and eclipses and stuff
Yep.
to try to take
Missile
down things.
damage does it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Um, but the first impression though is this is the coolest looking location in the game by far in terms of the lighting, in terms of the fidelity of all the assets, which leads me to believe, similar likely to the breaker stations, that this is probably cut squadron content that they have now repurposed for Star Citizen.
Wait, Breaker
Because
Stations is
it's
cut
just
squadron content?
I believe that was the theory when it came out. I don't think they've
Oh,
actually
I never
explicitly
heard
said
that. Okay.
that. Like it was like just location content basically, right? And
Got it.
then
Hathor was
they
cut
added the entrances.
Arena Commander stuff, so I mean it's in theory like
Yeah,
theory, sure, why not?
yeah.
Yeah.
It might. Sorry, yeah. Color's saying that the it might have looked dog shit to you. It looked amazing. I don't know. It looks super cool. The lighting was way beyond what we normally have in Star Citizen, to the point where I'm fairly sure it was like fake lighting in some spots, right? Like it's not everything just being lit up by the star there. So it's a lot more set dressing and stuff that they did.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, crazy looking location. Um, when you jump in, there's an Idris that is under attack from some fighters. You take down the fighters, and then he offers to open up the hangar bay doors of his Idris and let you rearm.
So okay, so this is where like
Yeah,
because I asked people, I was like, is rearming in the gate in 4.8, and they said yes. So this is where it is because you can't do it
yeah,
inside your own ships yet.
yeah. I couldn't
Got
get
it.
it to work.
Okay.
I didn't try very hard, but I couldn't get it to work. But like the hangar bay doors of the Idris did open and like let me fly in and stuff. So
Okay.
um, that was interesting. That was interesting. Uh, and then yeah, he tells you like a bit of the story about what's going on with this location. Um, uh, all he really tells you is basically who the enemies are, which is the Shattered Blade, the guys that we
Okay.
saw from the breaker stations.
Yeah, that we know.
Yeah, and then gives you like a little, hey, you're going to need fighters and big ships and whatnot. You need to take out these power relays, and he sort of gives you the the description of what you're gonna have to do in order to get in. And that's about as far as I got. I couldn't get any further than that
Cool.
in on my lonesome, which is good. I'm glad about that.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I mean, and it's hard to play with friends in Evo because not
Yeah,
everybody has access to it. I usually don't have that many people to play with when I want to play too, so it's
yeah.
understandable. Did you do anything else?
Like at the
Just in
PV
Evo,
station.
like, did you look at like
Oh yeah, so there's
crafting and things like that? Like, I know there's
didn't
some
look at
cool shit.
crafting, but there's a yeah, so there's a lot of cool stuff I want to talk about. We already mentioned obviously the caterpillar. So the command module is supposed to be in this patch.
Yeah,
It is, but the caterpillar itself is bugged because they've done like I want to call it like a half gold. What is it? Golden.
gold standard pass or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's like a half gold standard pass sort of thing. So like a lot of buttons have changed and like modules and stuff have been moved and whatnot. Um, but because of that, like at least from myself, from everyone that I saw in the in-game chat, and from a couple of other people I know in Evo, you just couldn't sit in the seat of the caterpillar to try it
Yeah,
out.
that was my
Um,
experience.
yeah, and that was both in like Arena Commander and in live. So it looked cool. Couldn't actually try it though, but um, obviously this is a big deal with Ironclad coming out if the command module works, because that's also supposed to have a command module, right?
Yeah, I don't
Um,
know how like impactful this will be on our like video game though. Like, I don't really know
not for a
the
while, right?
yeah,
This is like
it's
way in the far
gimmicky.
future
This is so
relevancy stuff. Because
gimmicky.
like when when are you going to need to disconnect in the current game? And the answer is like never.
Probably never.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh,
I mean,
so
maybe
it's a
with
cool feature to
piracy, like
have.
leave your whatever it's called, because there's the
Yeah,
command module and then the
get out.
host is what they're calling it. Leave your host
Yeah,
there, and then we'll take that, and you just leave.
that could
Um,
be relevant. Yeah.
right, but that's
There's
about
also
it.
like if you, I do wonder as well when this ends up in live. I wonder if you can just like disconnect your command module and then spawn another caterpillar, and then you can just have this floating stock of caterpillar hulls that you connect to when you need whatever's inside that particular hull.
Maybe,
Um,
yeah. It's
yeah,
goofy. So yeah, it just feels very gimmicky, but it's a gimmick that they promised. So
yeah,
one less thing on, one thing checked off on the list. So when I say it's gimmicky,
yeah,
I just want, how will this impact the player? How will this, change the
yeah.
game and make it better? It doesn't, but how it does is that it's one less thing on the list and they can go finally to things that are actually important.
Yeah,
Maybe.
there's
I
also
don't know.
there's value in having like unique mechanics in ships as well, right?
Sure, it gives
That's
them
very
their
fun. So
their difference.
yeah,
In the
um,
end, they're both just cargo ships currently, and
yeah.
this is how they are different, I guess, and it makes that
I'll tell
cool.
you what I
Yeah,
would
that's a good
love.
point.
Let me find missions in the verse that are like caterpillars or ironclads with a missing command module that have cargo in them. So if you go with like your C2, you can still like, grab out all the cargo you
Yeah,
want. But if you go in your command module, you could just attach and then leave with it.
hell yeah,
That'd be cool as hell.
that would be cool.
Um,
But maybe it's the beginning
yeah.
of the r- maybe it fixes the Carrack and their
Yeah.
cargo modules. Maybe this is part of those kind of things, right?
Maybe
I
it
don't know.
fixes ship to ship docking
Maybe.
finally.
I mean, refueling has not been tested yet in any of these builds either, right? So
Mm,
maybe these two things are related. We'll have to see
yeah.
as well. But you would think they would be, but who
I would hope
knows?
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Another big one that I noticed pretty early on was they have updated the uh, self status and like target status MFDs, like the ones that pop up in your uh, like top left and top right.
Oh,
The
okay.
what do you
The
call them?
the
Like the AR ones, not the ones that are
yeah, the
physical
ones that are on
screen.
your helmet
Yeah. And they are
visor.
so much better. So uh, the projections, yeah. So first off, they've changed it to finally, instead of just having your entire ship be blue, and then if it gets to, I think it was like 30% health or whatever, it turns
Uh huh.
red. It actually, similar to engineering, has stages now. So it does go like yellow, orange, red, and then black. Um, it's way
Nice.
easier to see, which is just like, better color balancing and
Well, somebody in chat said it showed the
glow and
paint they
stuff.
have on too, as well.
Yes.
So it's more
Yeah.
detailed.
Yeah, it's way more detailed, way cooler.
Okay.
In terms of seeing the paint, I did see like a texture, like I couldn't see the colors, but I could see like the shades of like a camo. But I
Cool.
don't know if it would actually show like a bright pink version of the ship that you're fighting.
Fair.
And it was way smoother too. Like the movements made a lot more sense, and it was easier for me as I'm like fighting it or as I'm being fought and being shot at, for me to understand what was going on in the ship. So huge quality of life upgrade there. That once again I assume is a port over from Squadron, because it was pretty polished
Yeah.
for the most part.
Fair. That's cool. The
Yeah.
one thing I want to talk about is crafting.
Hmm.
All the ship components, all these things. I don't know the like, all right, if I get like 900 quality quantum drive, I go from Stanton to Pyro gate this quick or
Hmm.
something like that. I don't know any of that stuff, but what I do know is that it requires a lot of, we're talking SCUs now, not CSCUs of
Yep.
material. So we're
Which
just
good.
talking about it before the podcast. Good, and it doesn't really exactly solve a lot of the problems that we have, but it does kind of help solve one. Like,
Mhm.
what's the problem that we have right now with mining? We feel like we're constantly scanning and doing nothing else, right? Because
Yep.
if you need so little of something, then you chase the best possible version of it, right? So, like,
Yeah.
and like, so there's two problems, right? I can't lose my gun, and I use such little material. So all I need to do is
Mhm.
find one rock of
Yeah.
three versions of one rock, right? So then I'm good. There was a mining probe from Wicklow Data Mined, by the way. That's interesting. Okay.
What does
That's
that
cool.
mean?
I don't know, but hopefully a massive change to scanning. To add on to that, I was complaining today in Twitch chat, and the DJ Bunton was there, and
Mhm.
he was like, "What's your issue with it?" You know, and that, again, this is like the beauty of how, like, this stage of development is you can give feedback on
Mhm.
these things. Is like,
Yeah.
hey, it's not. I just went up to a rock and I counted. And I counted to 9
Yeah.
basically before it scanned the initial one. And then I go, oh,
Mhm.
but it gets even worse, right? Because then I break that rock if I like it, or I
Mhm.
repeat this 150 times before I find a rock I want to break.
Find one you want. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I break it. And then I have to scan 6 more times of those rocks to find out what I need to break. And
Yeah.
then I have to scan 6 more times of those to find out which ones I want to pick up.
Yeah.
That's not fun. So, and he was like, "Oh, well,
As well as
that's going to change." That's all he
there's
said.
also like no
Hold
complexity
on.
to
Before you
scanning
say
either.
it,
No,
before you
I
say
know,
anything
but it's
else,
like
just so people
it's
can
just
hear
to
it.
add to the feedback. Yeah.
No, I know. And then add to it,
Yeah.
just so people can hear it. He said, "That's going to change." That's all he said.
Yeah.
No details, nothing like that. That's going
It's
to
gonna
change.
get worse.
It could. It could get worse. It could
We're
get
gonna
worse.
make you scared even more.
But yeah, sorry.
No,
I
yeah,
wanted to
I was
finish
just
that.
saying like I think the mining mechanics in game are like complex enough to be interesting. But
Yes.
scanning isn't. Scanning is at the
It's
moment
just
ping and then
tedium.
look. And that's
Exactly.
boring as hell.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I like that ship upgrades require a lot more stuff just in general, because they should. I think a ship upgrade should be like a crafted ship up item should be feel like more of effort and more of a impactful thing than a lot of your like guns and armor and stuff. So
Well,
in
I think they're
that
equally
perspective, I'm keen to it.
Yeah, I mean, I
I don't
think
think
they're
they're
like
equally important. At the end of the day, this is a spaceship game,
not for
and like you
everybody.
need to. It is no every person that plays this game has to use a spaceship. Not every person that plays this game has to use a gun. Not every person
Fair.
who plays this game has to do cargo or whatever, right?
Fair. You'll
At
hear
the
my
bare
point when you're
minimum,
done. You'll
at the
understand what
bare
I mean.
minimum, everyone's flying in Aurora. So
Yeah.
making that the like making it more important makes more sense to me. But at the same time, still not losing these items, so it's not gonna feel impactful yet. But
Yeah.
yeah,
The reason I said that is like some people are just gonna like grind ruin and PvP there because that's what they find fun.
yeah,
So like
yeah.
this patch may not be impactful for them or whatever. Like,
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
so
yeah.
they don't do it that much. That's what I mean. It's like they're the quantum drive will matter, but like I don't know, the salvage module might matter more to somebody
Yeah, yeah.
than anything else, right? So this is both
Mhm.
exciting for some and not for others or whatever was sort of the point I was making. But like, I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
that's what I'm most hyped for actually is how much RMC per second can I gather with crafting those things and where do you get the
Yeah, yeah.
blueprints and all that stuff. That's what I find to be pretty exciting. But the point that I was going to bring up was after we were having that conversation is
Mhm.
because it requires more material, you because that rare material is so hard to find, you're going to widen your range of what you're willing to mine and then you're
Yeah.
going to decide what you want to use that high quality stuff on. So like you're bringing up
Mm.
it's more impactful. Well, who is it more impactful for? So,
Yeah.
do I want the better quantum drive with the 987? Like, I think our org's best iron is 987 right now.
Mhm.
987 iron is that shit is used in almost every gun. Is it used in
Yeah.
quantum drives too? Now I have to decide like where do I use this stuff? So it's going to widen the range in which you want to mine. You're going to mine a lot more. You're going to scan a lot less. Um, but eventually we're going to get back
Depending,
to no matter
because
what,
there's
you're gonna
also
mine more because you have to open up your range if you want to craft a
well,
lot.
if you wanna craft a lot.
Yes,
It
yes.
may
As a
it's not gonna
crafter, I
if
should say.
you may still end up going like 'ca a lot of people who are mining obviously are crafting at the same time. It's
Yes, of
not like
course.
some other games, like one game that I'm not gonna mention this episode, where you do often have miners as
Miners
a separate
mine.
profession to crafters, right?
Yeah.
There's crossover for sure, but like there is people that just mine.
Yep.
Um, that's not really happening in the game yet. And so you will have people go, I do want to make this quantum drive. So I'm not gonna widen my range. I'm still just gonna go for whatever. It's just gonna take
Yep.
me longer to get that higher quality quantum drive or whatever. Um, I do agree that I will be doing that. I will probably go, you know what? All those like 600 qualities I find, I'm gonna chuck
Gonna
them to
grab
some
them.
ship components. Still gonna get, that what 3 to 4% bonus, cool. And then if I find anything good, well, first off, I'll make one of my two weapons that I want, and then after that, yeah, maybe I start filtering that back into components over time.
Yeah. I think that might be why they're ignoring or not really talking about the tedium that mining is right now, is because they knew that
Mm.
this should, or they were hoping that this will widen the gap. I don't think that it will for
Mhm.
that long, though. I think eventually you'll just end up in the same spot of, well, I found 750 quality of this stuff. I have a decent amount of it.
Yeah,
Now I will not mine 750 quality anymore. Now I'm looking for 800. And then now I have 800 and I
mm,
have a decent amount of it. And then you just build up these stockpiles and you never use it. If things don't get destroyed, you don't use them. You're gonna
yeah,
end up stockpiling the materials, right? So it fixes one problem but doesn't solve um, the whole idea, which is, I think,
yeah.
inherently flawed at the moment, at least.
At, at least we know, based on what they said a few weeks ago, their like intentions for your tier two ships and whatnot that aren't pledge items. That like these components you will lose if you don't have insurance. So, and then even if you do have insurance, like the
We'll
wear
see.
and tear and stuff, right? Well, what they described a couple weeks ago
Yeah,
specifically.
it's still so
Um,
vague.
yeah,
It's tough.
yes, it's vague because it will also change again. Kind of because it
Yes.
has to. The game is still not in a state where you really could know how insurance is going. In fact, there was a Spectrum post this week that I saw someone link, where someone was taking how crafting is working right now and using that as a way to say that they are screwing over uh, pledge items, and some of the argument did make sense. They said that because they're screwing over pledge items, that makes the game more pay to win, which that doesn't compute in my brain. But they were using like current mechanics and then ignoring the future intentions that they also said like 2 weeks ago. Uh, all of it's going to change. Like so much of that is not set in stone.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so hard to play good games and then come back to this one with stuff like this sometimes, especially in this scenario where we're like they have communicated about this better than most things of like it is just a first step. We're doing it at a very small
Hmm.
scale. We want to get your feedback so we don't fuck it up in the long term.
Yep.
And it's like, all right, let's see what they do with the feedback. And then they have
Hmm.
a show and they don't really say that much.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, now I just need to wait and see what they do. And I see what they're doing here with the components, and now I see like,
Hmm.
yeah, you're right. Some people won't. They'll
Maybe there's a
just
vision
mine
there. Yeah.
forever and look, and it's like, yeah, maybe there is a little bit of a vision here. I don't know if it's going to be a good one. I think there's just better ways of doing things, and from other games that I've
Yeah.
played, but this is the way they're going, and it just they seem, no matter what, they have their idea that they have, whether it's
Hmm.
good or not, and everybody bangs on the door and tells them how shit it is. They're gonna see it all the way through, and then change it. And that's how we have
Yeah.
14 years of this. Is instead
Yeah.
of just like hearing the points that people are making and go, "Oh, yeah, that might be a problem." They just want to go through with it. So
Mm.
I'm done arguing. I'll just keep making my, hey, this is shit. I don't think this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Um, and then 5 years from now, I'll be vindicated from the fact that they change it to exactly
Yeah.
what we were talking about 5 years
Yeah.
prior, like many things that we have now. So
Yeah.
yeah, or at least things that
Um.
they say now.
So one other thing that I noticed in my very very small amount of time that I was able to play the Evo was just a quick one. We were complaining a lot about how the last event, which was the one where everyone just ended up sharing the missions with each other a billion
Sharing
times over.
blueprints.
Yeah, sharing blueprints, all that sort of stuff, is like it's gaming the system, obviously, but it's also just kind of boring. It's the system is too easily abused in that way. There was at least one change. I did not test if this worked, but in your missions tab under accepted, it says 0 of 10. This presumably means you can only have 10 missions at a time. That partially solves a little bit of this, if that is the intention. I don't know if that's the intention, but it kind of feels like it would be. I think there are still other things that they should need to do, but it's a step for sure to make it so that you actually have to play the game a little bit more. Oh no. Yeah.
Or just make many parties of 10 people and do the same things anyway, because most parties aren't bigger than 10 people. It just stops
No,
the
that's
mega
not that's
parties.
not that's not a party limit. That's a mission limit.
Oh, I thought that was a party limit.
No, 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 no. You can only have 10
Ah.
missions accepted. So, yeah,
Eh.
that's the change.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
changes
it's a
it's
it's a
still the
small
same
change
point.
that yeah
It changes the
yeah
mega parties. It doesn't change,
yeah
your average size groups.
yeah.
It would change nothing that our org does, I don't think. I don't think I've ever had 10 missions running at one time.
I definitely have I've definitely had blueprint sharing mission groups with more than 10, and I've definitely the last event 100% more than 10 because each player would have 6 and then all share them together, and we'd end up
See,
with like 20 missions
we
or
only
something.
share here's how you game this. You only share when you're
Mhm.
turning in. Done. Easy. That's I mean, like, right? That's how we've
Yeah,
been doing it. Like, again, they come up with all these ideas. They never talk to the people who are actually going to play it and know exactly how to fucking game them. And I instantly gamed it in 5 seconds
yeah,
because that's how we play anyway. Because like it was really annoying to have missions that failed
yeah.
on your
Fair.
list.
And then figure out which one you've got to
Yeah.
abandon or whatever.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
figure out which one you have to abandon. So we would just be like, all right, turning this in. It didn't work. Abandon that one, guys. All right, cool. All right, turning this one in. That one worked. Sweet. Done.
this guy's
Yeah.
too smart for Star Citizen, guys. Damn it.
Yeah.
um, yeah, that's all I saw for 4.8. There's more stuff to come. Waiting for the command module to do stuff, and this is the Invictus patch. So that'll be on its way as well. A couple weeks into the a little less than a month from now, basically.
Yeah. Uh, but it's not Invictus.
It's not. Invictus
Yeah.
is getting canned for a big old defense con. So there was a Twitter post that CIG posted that's a little cinematic. Notably, they did not show his face. I guarantee it, so they did not have to animate his face for the video because it's just a Twitter post. It's not exactly like a full
Yeah.
thing. Of not Jan Dredge, the other CEO of Drake. Uh,
I forgot his name too.
the CEO of Drake, whatever his name is,
Whatever, doesn't
uh,
matter.
talking about you know, Andonon, talking about running a big defense con, and this is about the independent ships and stuff. Mentions a large silhouette that might overshadow the whole event, and blah blah
Yeah, it's
blah.
just an ad.
Yeah, it's just an ad. It's a fun little like lore reason as to like why to do a defense con big thing. They've done this in the past with Drake, especially. Actually, there was one IAE that was all Drake themed. I think that was the release of the Corsair, the Cutter, a bunch of other things. I don't remember what, but like it was a big Drake week, and it's going to be the same case here because the Ironclad's coming out. So this is their reason to make it a big Drake thing. But they
I
will
think
still
it.
be showing other ships,
Yes,
and yeah.
I'll
So
try to pause it
there's
when we
yeah.
get to that part. But the
There's alien manufacturers and everything. It's for all intents and purposes for the player, it's a regular Invictus.
exactly, it's no different. It's
Yeah.
just gonna have a little bit more red and fire. It seems
Mhm.
to be.
Yeah.
But the main thing is or no, the thing about why it's not Invictus, I think, is tying into this like wider story that they're trying to tell with Nyx.
I don't, because I've seen a lot of people say that because there's like a moment where he mentions as well. It's like, oh, the uh like the UEE were too scared and they had a emergency in Seoul or whatever.
Yeah,
I purely just think this is just a fun lore reason for them to do a Drake thing. I don't think it really has anything to do with
I mean they could.
Xenothreat, who are also coming back in 4.8 type.
Oh yeah,
Um, I don't think it has anything to do with Nyx. I think it's just a fun thing.
I think. Well, I think you're right. You could be right and wrong at the same time here. Like it's just a fun thing,
Mhm,
but they could also, like they're doing with this Drake Defense Con thing, just like slyly mentioning the big fucking $1 million ship that they want to sell. The
mhm,
they could also tie into like other storylines that they want to tell throughout the year. And I do think like right at the
yeah,
bottom, they're talking about Nyx and things like that. So I think that
mm,
it might be like a subtle just these are the
possibly.
storylines that we'll hear this year. I don't think it's anything to like
Yep.
super, think about or care about or
Yeah,
anything
no,
like
like
that.
I keep hearing people be like, "Oh, this is about Squadron." It's not
Nah,
remotely
nah,
about Squadron.
nah.
They would do something very different if that was the case. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
uh,
No.
but yeah, yeah. So that'll be interesting. I've seen a lot of people analyze that little very very blurred photo of the hull there. Looks like we'll be getting a couple new ships.
Yep.
I think it's like 4 or 5 total. Only like 2 of those we know. Um, so it's going to be a big Invictus. Usually IAE is the one that has the most ship reveals. This one might be a bit larger.
Yeah. While I'm on Twitter, do we want to talk Brian Chambers real quick and just get this out of the way?
Yeah, a couple of hours
Cool.
ago, Brian Chambers posted up on Twitter. After 11 years, he is leaving CIG. Based on the way that this is written, very like normal, like he's leaving. Like he hasn't been fired or like bad. It doesn't sound like any bad sort of bad blood between SC. In fact, even at the end there, mentions like, "Oh, see what new project I'm doing," or Star Citizen.
Yeah, like, which is
um,
also weird because he's been on Squadron, so maybe he's just memeing or something and then moving on to the Star Citizen side.
maybe.
So
Uh,
I see this in the
yeah.
chat. He's leaving because Squadron 42 is done. I think that is the one like
Oh,
glass half full
yeah.
take you can have about this is lots of devs will be moving off of the
Yeah.
out of Squadron and onto different studios or different projects and
Mhm.
other things because it's wrapping up.
Yep.
It might be wrapping up even if it comes out in 2027. We're nearly through 2026, so not
Mm.
nearly through it, but we're almost halfway
We're,
through it or
we're getting to
whatever.
the point where it's like if there's no announcement in the next like few months, then it's unlikely to be this year.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And then so there
Yeah.
that game is wrapping up and in general, I don't expect everyone from that studio to move over and go on to SC. They'll probably move on to other things. Cuz working 10 years at one company usually gets boring.
Yeah.
So people move
Yeah, that's
on
what I was
and
gonna
that's
say.
that.
Like, there's there's lots of like predictions into what this could mean. It also could just genuinely mean he's been working there for 11 years and wants to do something different,
Here's what
right?
I'll
Like,
say. It can mean
yeah.
anything, and we're being super parasocial about this, and every time a
Mhm.
developer leaves, people are like, "Oh my god, did you see this?" And it's like, it's
When it's
not.
a big developer, not just a big developer, but like he was, what is it, vice president art director or something. Um, like that has impacts within the company,
Maybe, yeah,
right?
sure. But it doesn't matter
So
to
less
us.
the like.
Why does that
Well, it
mean
does because
anything to
there's
us?
because when it's a director, that means someone else is going to step up to that role, and that
Okay,
means things change,
maybe.
right?
But like,
That's all. That's all. VP of
yeah,
development. Thank you.
yeah, but again, I think like we then are even like we're not investors in this company. We don't like it like we just want to play the game. Most of us, I
Hmm.
would assume, but because we don't have one, we like over
Yeah.
focus on weird shit like this that just like doesn't really matter. Todd Pappy left, things changed, sure. So like in that way,
Yeah.
you're right. But were they already changing before he left? Don't know, right? Like this, did
Yeah.
it even matter? I have no idea. I have no idea. So like for those two guys, those are two guys that I met in person, had real human to
Yeah.
human conversations with. They were super cool. And
Yeah.
all I would
Brian
ever say
Chambers
to
is
this
great.
shit
Yeah.
is, dude, I hope both of those guys are as happy as can be, and that's
Mhm.
it, because they were just
Yep.
cool dudes. But you know, if we're gonna psychoanalyze everything, like, oh man, it gets exhausting. And like I saw it said in my chat today like 50 times, did you see this? Did you see this? And it's like, yeah, I saw this, but I don't understand why everybody's making such a big deal about it. I get what you're saying, but there's 1,000 people that work at this company. 1,000, right?
There are, but like once again, when it's someone that's so high up on the totem pole, it's a lot more interesting, I
Yes, of
guess.
course.
It's not a case necessarily of like
I'll give you a better example though. There have been
sure,
people that have been higher than him on the totem pole that have left. And
sure.
people like made similar comments, but not to the level of this. So the real
Mhm.
reason people care is there was a shitty time for Star Citizen, which was 2017-ish, 2018-ish. And
Mhm.
Brian Chambers hosted the best part of ATV every single week
Yep.
because he wasn't some corporate shill fucking guy. He told you how it was, and people really loved him for that. So
Yes.
that is why people are kind of like, damn, this guy's
Mhm.
leaving. I liked that guy. But you liked that guy for a different reason that had something entirely different to do with than what he
Sure.
did on a daily basis at Star Citizen, when like people that
Mhm.
were higher than him have left, and people just were like, oh, who the fuck is that? Right. So I
Yeah.
think like the people who have been following the project for a while are like, damn, I liked that guy. And I think that's really what it
Yeah.
is. So yeah.
I think that's fair. I also think there's a relevance in like certain game developers. And if some people in chat say they don't do this, a lot of them are going to be lying because you literally do this with Chris Roberts for CIG. Certain game developers do like certain like interesting things in whatever game they do,
Yep.
and then as you continue to like follow their career, they continue to do like these more interesting things, uh, and that's interesting to watch. So like, I am curious to see what he does next. Right?
Sure.
I would likely follow whatever he does and check out what he goes through. Similarly, what's his name? The ship director that left a couple years back. It
Oh
went to
yeah.
Ubisoft.
Yeah. And then his game failed or whatever.
Yeah, his game got canned. Rip.
Yeah.
But similar sort of thing. I was like, well, I liked your art direction in Star Citizen. Yeah, Paul Jones, thank you.
Mhm.
And so I was like watching his progress
Also,
and stuff,
very
and
public
whatever.
figure, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
like that's the other factor here is like they
Hmm.
put these guys up on pedestals, but they're just regular dudes, and then somebody else comes
Yeah.
in, and man, the ships are doing just fine without him. He
Oh yeah.
left. We did lose a very important ship when he left.
Yes. Arguably the biggest like
Uh,
upset to ship development in the last like
but
15 years.
when you think about it, now the direction the game has gone, if you got the Bane of Merchantman when you were going to get it, it would be the most like Kraken 2, the two most pointless ships at this point for their special features. A
Yeah.
shop on a ship has so much less relevancy now with everything they're talking about of like
Yeah.
shops at a station, shops at a base, all this stuff. They're not they were cool gimmicks that were only on ships.
Yeah.
Now they're
Not
everywhere,
not
so who
just
cares?
Yeah, not just that, but also like think about how much better they've done recently in concepting cargo ships in terms of like ease of loading and unloading. The BMM looked like a nightmare to load and
Yeah.
unload.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly. So it not coming is the best thing that could have happened to that ship, because now they get to go like, okay, well, the game has went in this direction. What new gimmicks do we put on these ships to make them interesting and
yeah,
want people to buy them? So
yeah,
yeah, I think it's probably the
uh,
best thing
yeah.
in hindsight, of course.
Do you want to talk roadmap?
Sure. Um, yeah. Do I want to talk roadmap? I have inside info as well when it comes to
Oh,
that,
okay,
so
interesting.
that should help. Unfortunately, I should say I have inside info because we should have had this
Oh
info
no,
already.
that's
We
such
may
an yeah.
My inside info may only last for a couple of hours, hopefully. So yeah,
Okay.
we'll see. Um,
So
let's go.
first thing in the roadmap is just the stuff that got added to 4.7.2, basically.
Cares. Most
Yeah,
of the stuff you
fine.
could have a hard time finding, like bombing runs. You need
Yeah.
like max rep for things to get and stuff, so it's kind of a pain in the
Found
ass.
him in PCU, but couldn't see them in 4.7.2.
Yeah, and then all these don't
Yeah.
exist. They're just not there anymore. I can't get them.
Well, yes. Yeah, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4.8.
4.8. The
Yep.
crossbow has been updated. Now, do you know what it's been updated from? Is it just like the description?
The
has been
image, just
updated?
the image was
got
updated. That was all
Okay.
that was there. There is a little bit of like information around it. Is people were like
Mhm.
saying something about it on Reddit, and then Zach was like, "It's gonna hurt, like it's gonna do a lot of damage." So
Cool.
there's that.
FPS weapon art refactor. A couple of guns are getting updates. Cool.
Did you recognize
I'm
what
into
happened
it.
in the last one? I never could tell the
No.
difference between the guns, so I don't know what this is. Some people have been like, "Yo, the guns look so much
Yeah.
better." I've seen them saying that in
Yeah.
Evo PTU, and I'm like, "Are you just coping? Because or am I just like oblivious?" Right?
Yeah.
And I usually lean on I'm oblivious when it comes to these things.
Yep.
But yeah,
We're getting a new flat suit, the Tailwind.
I'm
And
gonna bring
then
up the image for that
yeah.
just because it's some.
Oh, that's right. It
It's
was in thingy, wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah, it's a little. It's I think it's like a little relevant to talk about because I think
Mhm.
I just want to praise it a bit
Okay.
if I can. I think they
Yep.
nailed it.
It's very
just futuristic
current
enough.
day flight suit, but
Yeah,
a little updated, which is nice.
because you got to make something like that feel like something a player can understand.
Mhm.
And like I see this and it's like, oh, Top Gun. Okay, got it. So that's
Yeah.
what this does.
Yeah.
But also have it be futuristic. So I think they
Mhm.
like did a really good job with it. So I just wanted to say that.
Yep.
That's all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
And
this.
then a big one. Item
massive
recovery vehicle loadouts. Added the ability for players to save and claim vehicle loadouts via the ASOP terminals. Claim vehicles and their components will now be bricked after some time. Includes a major refactor of the entitlement service and extension of the item, blah, blah, blah. Huge.
Huge good
If
or
it
huge
works.
bad?
Huge good. If we're able to actually like save
Mm.
our loadouts, that's a massive deal, right?
Yeah.
It's going to do a lot for
Very
speeding up
interesting.
your actual. I don't like how you're how you're talking, Mac. I'm very concerned.
Because I've already found the exploit. Like it's just yeah. So how do we dupe weapons now? By saving our ships and then claiming them.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, now when I go and mine, it takes me 65 hours to find something that's 900 quality.
Yeah.
So when I find that, now I claim my ship, I dismantle the current one, I claim it, and I get it back. And then I do that over and over again. No matter what percentage of material I get back, I eventually can dupe it. So I reached out to some people, and they had other concerns that were not that were exploits with the system. that I don't remember what they were, so it doesn't matter. But what they described here is, hey, this is just the roadmap update of this. It's just letting you know that like it's vehicle loadouts. It's not actual item insurance yet. That was one thing that was said. And the other thing was like, you'll hear more about it soon. And like essentially implying that when this is in PTU, there'll be a more descriptive description of how it works. But like they understood my concerns, sent them to the people who are working on it, and we'll see what happens. But I don't know if they were aware of it and have, because like the thing is here is I am like, oop, here's an exploit. But what this thing doesn't say is, oh, we knew that would be an exploit, so there's this thing
like
to deal with it, right?
The only bit that it says is just claimed vehicles and components will now be bricked after some time, which is once again a very vague description of what that is.
It's also exactly what we have now, with just an extra step, right? So like this is a nothing thing to me from what I can tell. It's exactly what we have now. Well, how is this different? Like, I'm confused.
Could have two ships and change the loadout. I don't know. They need to show us how it works.
Exactly.
Because you are right. Right now, it is basically the same. But in my head, I'm like, oh, cool. I can save a loadout and then get the ship out. It's like, oh, but you can kind of do that already just by claiming the ship and then getting the ship.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is the last sentence is like item and print system to ensure player-owned vehicles persist reliably. So it sounds more like we did a little back-end update to things, and so that's what I'm taking from this. But again, with crafting and now bringing in crafted components, we're doing some dangerous shit here, because this couldn't happen with your weapons. If you if like they people exploited or whatever, got your gun by knocking you out. That thing still exists, by the way. Your gun, they got your gun. That's it. They got your gun, and you don't have it back. This is, well, we could take your stuff, dismantle it, and you get your shit back. So. If a thing is saved, can you not dismantle? Okay, there's your band-aid to solve the problem. Now what do salvagers do? You just completely fucked anybody who wants to salvage, right? So that's not good either. So there's like this is a genuinely problematic system from the start, which is always like just let things explode, guys. I can't stop saying it. We just have to come up with a way that it is not as painful to a player as it is now. I can't stop saying it because it just solves all the problems. It just solves all the problems. There's so many problems with these. There's so many problems. There's no winning here. I'm not going to say the word. We're not going to mention it. We're not mentioning the game today. We will avoid it the entire day. We will not mention it.
Oh, we have to mention Minecraft at some point. Like, come on.
Yeah, obviously.
It's a perfect game.
So,
so that was the roadmap. Where to next?
I don't know. Did we talk at all? Like 3.7.2 released a little bit. We just did a tiny bit. But I just want to mention like really awesome blueprints added with C54, P8SC, so things that people really desire. So that was nice to like have this new carrot to chase. It was obviously fairly quickly earned, but I just kind of want to point out this like every 2-week system that they're doing is working for me. At the moment where I'm like, I'm bored out of my mind, they hit me with something that gives me a little thing, and then boom, right from there, now we're playtesting 4.8. So there's I'm never completely bored. So I think they're like kind of nailing their development cycle. Like last year had its like pluses and minuses. This year I don't have as many minuses to it.
I think it's because
cadence, development cadence.
Having big patches every 2 months with tiny patches is better than having like a medium patch every month.
Yeah. Like it's just working for me. So and it's never worked for me. So I don't want to ever be entirely negative if there's something good to say. And I feel like that is something good. So I want to
Yep.
say it. Another thing was just like a Reddit post where somebody was like, "Where are we going to get the Shiv again at IAE or whatever?"
Mhm.
And Jared said, "Yes, the Shiv and more." So implying that there'll be more
Yep.
Grays market ships, which is, I think, the Shiv is, I wouldn't say a fan favorite, but people really like the idea of it. I think, and
Yeah.
um,
The idea of
yeah,
aftermarket ships has been a thing that people have mentioned for a really long time,
yep,
especially after the sitcom presentation in 2023 in LA,
sure,
where they first showed off. I don't think it was the Shiv, but it was another like Cutlass super aftermarkety
yeah,
looking thing.
yep,
I was like, cool. When are we getting this in the game? So,
yeah,
of course, it's gonna be
shipjackers.
cool. And hey, look, the more likely I get my Argo Mole, but instead of mining turrets, it's like quad size 4 turrets. Let's go.
That might be a cool gunboat. Yeah. When you
Yeah.
think about it. That's actually a cool idea. Last thing though, sneak peek. We see our refueling ship.
Yep. Yeah.
It's
New disc
Misk.
ship.
I kind of disappointed it's Misk.
It's I'm okay. Yes, sort of. Like it feels like it was always going to be Misk. That's their deal. Uh, who else would do it? Argo would do it.
Argo,
I can see Anvil have the. Is it
the
Anvil that
repair,
have the
refuel,
drone
rearm,
one?
right?
Yeah. But that's like military refueling. The Vulcan, thank you. Uh, yeah. There's only like maybe 3 manufacturers that make sense to me to do refueling, and Misk is probably the most likely. So,
Consolidated
I think more
Outland.
importantly, yeah. I mean, yeah, we just could use more CNOU in general because they don't have a.
A lineup, really.
They just do what they want, right? They just throw ships at the wall. Um, the big thing here is like, yeah, so obviously single seater. Uh, I imagine this is going to be another prospector slash. What's the
Oh
Savage one
my
again?
god, yeah. Is it just gonna look
Right.
like a
I think
prospector?
it's just gonna be that, but refueling. Which there's interesting things you can do with that. Like you can imagine the big refueling cans on the sides and stuff instead of the mining bags or the salvage bags. But I imagine that's it's gonna be that.
Yeah, one on each side. One big
Yeah,
canister,
they can
maybe.
still do some stuff to it, but it doesn't. From all of the ship designs we've ever seen CIG do, if a manufacturer does a ship of a similar size to another ship they already have, tends to be a variant rather than a
Hmm.
completely new ship. So,
Oh,
we'll see.
damn. I was hoping it was gonna be new, but
Look, I think it'll be cool. They did enough different stuff to the Fortune to make it look like fairly different to the Prospector, and they could do more here. But
yeah.
that is a good point from McNeil. Prospector doesn't have a dashboard. This one does, so there could be some different stuff here.
But the
Um, it could
Prospector
be
doesn't
more
have a
like a
gold standard rework yet.
true, but it could be more like a freelancer with one seat. I mean, if you ever go, when's the last time you went into the freelancer cockpit, Mike?
I can't remember.
That thing is tiny. If you go into the freelancer cockpit, there is way too much space used up on seats in comparison to like modern day ship designs that
Yeah.
they've done. So I could see them also just doing a freelancer and making it
Chat's saying
full
whole
refuel.
A. I could believe that too.
Oh yeah, I'm into that. No, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
down. Hull A variant thing where
Yeah.
instead of the cargo spindles, you've got
I'll always
refueling
go
tanks.
back to my
Pretty cool.
foxhole experiences with this refueling. I don't even care what the ship looks like. Um,
Yep.
I just want to refuel stations with fuel, and if the stations run out, then the
Hmm.
fuel gets more pricey. And then
Yep.
if the stations completely run out, then nobody can refuel at them. And then players are typing in Gen Chat, "Hey, we need more fuel over here." And then players go and
Yep.
refuel it, and then but other players go and attack them and prevent them refueling it and steal their fuel for themselves. And then you have a video
Hmm.
game. But that
Yep.
won't happen because we're just going to get dead space missions where you refuel NPCs. Awesome.
Well, strike groups. We'll see.
Yeah,
Strike
we'll
groups
see.
is going to be the first big test, right? Of actual player using this sort of stuff. What I would love to see, this is like actually genuinely, I would love to see in order to make stripe groups better, or like this kind of mechanic, give fighters. No, everyone's already gonna hate me for this. I was gonna say give fighters like no hydrogen, like barely any hydrogen, 10 minutes of hydrogen fuel, and then you're forced to refuel. Because like in most engagements, that's going to be fine, right? You're still going to be able to do your 1v1s or whatever. But now people will hate me for that, so never mind.
And rightfully so, because like because then it requires you to have like a big ship.
Yeah, it screws. It requires you to have a big ship, or forces you to quantum crazy distances every time you do a mission.
Yeah, I just don't think it would be fun.
That does suck. That does suck. So take my idea and then make the rest of the game better so that it makes sense. There we go.
Exactly. By the way, try the new refueling. They dumbed it down to one button press. That is so sad because I feel like the refueling UI was like the best UI they ever had. It just never worked. Like the refueling connection part never worked. The code part, I guess.
The fuel rate and stuff.
Yeah, that's sad. That's really sad, actually. But simple is okay too. You know, when you really think about it.
Yeah. Because like that
not everything has to be like
interesting,
hyper immersive.
No one was doing it, so who cares?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of okay with it. Simple might not be the worst thing, but again, I don't care if it's simple or complicated. It needs to have meaning and purpose behind it, and it sounds like it still doesn't. So in the end, if you're not solving that problem, I don't care how fun. Like it's the same thing with mining. Like mining itself is fucking awesome, but with scanning and this whole like unknown with what crafting will actually mean and how important it'll really be based on insurance and all these other factors that aren't mining. Doesn't matter if mining's fun, right? You got to nail everything else. So yeah. All right. Exactly. That's all I got for the day, so we can get to callers.
Yeah, that was about it for the week. I did want to mention, because you weren't here last week, Mike.
Sure.
There was also we talked about it like on my stream, and I'm sure you've talked about it since then. There was an update to the Squadron 42 buyback stuff.
Yeah. Zyler. We could talk a bit about that real quick. It might be a good topic for people.
This happened obviously the previous week, but yeah, we didn't have a show last week, so I thought it'd be interesting to bring up. So Zylo made a post about we had all those things where people weren't able to buy back their Squadron 42 packages, and there was a lot of discussion about it.
What do you think first?
Because I can link it to you.
Even if you link it to me, I can't grab it because it'll cover your face and show our DMs and stuff. But I can try and find it because I should have the weekend review doc.
The whole thing about it for me is it really does just show that when they removed Squadron from the pledge store a couple of years ago, they didn't do the full due diligence that they probably should have at the time, and now it's caused, like, once again, as always, more distrust from the community.
Well, they're still not doing the due diligence.
Things are handled.
Yeah. The thing is they're still not doing the due diligence.
This would not have been an issue if when they removed Squadron 42 from the pledge store, they said that they were also going to remove buybacks at the time for Squadron 42. Because they did the announcement. I think it was like 6 months. It might have been less. But they were like, this is how much time you have left to buy Squadron on the pledge store before we remove it. And if they had done the same thing with buybacks at the same time, I think this would be fine, right? There's the whole thing of like, you've just highlighted a sentence I was going to talk about. It shouldn't be used for this, but you've let people use it like this for years.
Ding, ding,
and so
ding,
people
ding,
have gotten
ding,
used
ding,
to it.
Because you benefited from it. And now that it's something that you are not going to benefit from, you are taking it away, right? So when it works for you, it's okay. When it doesn't work for you, it's not okay. It's the same thing as, oh, well, we're an alpha. Oh, but we're an MMO. Oh, but we're, it's always just whatever stupid fucking messaging they want to have. This is, again, the easiest thing to solve. is you remove the gifting option for it. If your actual problem is that because that's what the issue here is. This is not that they.
I think there's a second issue, but I'll get to it.
To park ships or anything like that. They don't give a shit about us parking ships. That does prevent us from buying new ships that we really want and things like that. Yeah. Overusing store credit or whatever, which I'm sure they don't like. But in reality, this issue here is I have 20 versions of Squadron 42 and Star Citizen packages that I paid $12 each for.
Yep.
And now I can. CIG says Squadron 42 is $80. Well, I'm selling it for $70.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to prevent. I'm not going to do that. I give those out to my friends and don't spend any money on this game. It's shit. If you really, 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 really want to try it, here's your Mustang Omega that has both on them. Right? That's what they're trying to prevent. Something that hurts their bottom line. Right? And when it didn't hurt their bottom line and it benefited from it, then it was totally fine. And it's still fine in other aspects because it still benefits their bottom line. So just make them non-giftable and then it solves all your fucking problems. And because here's what happened, and multiple people went in my comments, is you have not said the release date or price of Squadron 42. You have said nothing about Squadron 42. You have made no significant updates about it. So your backers who melted Squadron 42 packages to play Star Citizen, the only thing that you're giving them an opportunity to play, have those packages melted, and now they can no longer unmelt them, and you have not given them the sufficient warning to let them know not to hey, we're going to make these unmeltable, because they couldn't, because they're trying to prevent these fucking resellers from doing it. So if you said, hey, we're going to make these unmeltable soon, but we're also going to make them ungiftable. Make sure you unmelt them if you don't have any Squadron 42 packages. Thank you so much for your support and getting us this far, making our CEO rich, making his wife rich, making his brother rich, having us have a giant fucking building in the middle of Manchester that we don't deserve because we haven't released anything yet. Thank you so much for all the support. Those, it's just a kick in the nuts, dude, to those people. Now, I think those people are just a few. So what I'm hoping those people can do is just send a support ticket, and CIG says exactly that. Thank you so much for your support. Sorry for the kick in the nuts. Here's some ice. Here's your Squadron 42 package. And then everything will be okay, right? So I really hope that support can solve this problem and that they can both get the win that they want. But in reality, just make them not giftable and you're not going to have a fucking problem. So it just pisses me off that they do the most complicated, stupid thing possible, and it's always something about their bottom line. I'm so tired of them. Sorry. Sorry for the rant, but I'm so sick of their bullshit. Just do the right thing.
I was also going to mention, there's one problem I've always had with the buyback system for the future of the game in terms of gameplay, which has been let's say we're at 1.0 release. We know that you're still going to have your pledge items. If the buyback system still exists at this point, you're going to have hey, here's a patch. The arrow got nerfed. The Gladius got buffed. I'm going to go melt my arrow and then buy a Gladius. And you can just keep doing that for the rest of the game forever. And that's a problem. That is not as much of a problem as what we mentioned there. But it was always a thing of I really hope that they see that it could be a problem and that they do try to plan on fixing it at some point.
Sorry, I was just hitting emojis.
But yeah, so 100% they should have just made it not giftable. And I still think, if they just, it feels like they just did this too late as well. This just should have happened when they removed Squadron from the pledge store.
Yeah. 100%. And it should have just been, hey, this is why we're doing it. Blah, blah, blah. It's just always, they're always so secretive unless it makes the money. It's so annoying. So annoying. Oh, but we're more open than everybody. Yeah. When it makes you money. So, I'm over it. I'm not even that mad about it because it doesn't affect me really, but it's just, I'm so tired of the blatant, silly behavior. It just bothers me.
There's also, in this particular situation, I have friends in the game who want to play Squadron, but did like melt it because they wanted to
Yeah,
play Star Citizen because new ships came out, and I want them to be able to play Squadron. I don't want them to have to buy it again at
that's
a new
insane.
price that is super expensive. So yeah.
So really hope they do the right thing here.
Hmm.
Like when you like, unfortunately, I have to send in a ticket, maybe, but I hope if you do send in a ticket that they will do the right thing by those people because I think they are getting caught in the crossfire of the funding model of the game, and it's just not appropriate or fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, enjoy the support tickets, support because you're hopefully going to get quite a few of them.
Once again, this was a week and a half ago, so I'm sure they have, in fact, been getting
Yeah.
smashed with tickets.
What I wonder is if
Yeah.
anybody's watching the show, if you did send in a support ticket, did they fulfill it?
Mm,
Since it's been a week and a half, if this has happened to you, did they do anything for you? I'm curious.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, just wanted to touch on that one before we end up getting to some callers. If you want to call into the Answer the Call podcast / call-in show / dine and dive, make sure you go into the description below. If you're watching on YouTube, head over to the green room. If you are on Twitch, go / my podcast, follow the link. We are full today. You got to get in early. If you want to talk, you got to get in early.
Yeah. Just before we run into Shark Bite, somebody in chat, O'Bane, said they did nothing at all for me and thanked me for my understanding. Nice. Hopefully.
Well, at least you understood.
Yeah. So anyway, Shark Bite, what's up, dude?
How we doing, Shark?
I don't even have this issue because I saw when they said, "Oh, if you have concierge and you own a copy of Squadron, we'll add
Yeah.
one to your account by such and such deadline." I'm still really offended by this because I know people who are, again, they have significantly smaller hangars than me,
Mhm.
and they melted a ship or whatever because they don't know when Squadron is going to come out. It's been 2 years
Yeah.
for years, and
Yeah, but
so
also in
they
addition, like, yeah, you just quickly you mentioned, like, yeah, you got it for free. You had concierge. I was the same. A lot of the backers here, at least in this podcast, are probably very similar. How many new players have we had in the last, like, in that time
Oh yeah,
period
for
that
sure.
probably aren't, like weren't concierge at the time? It's going to be a lot,
Yeah.
Yep.
right? So it's
But
still
also, I mean, in the
probably
last
small, like
couple
Mike. Sorry,
years, they haven't been able to buy it.
sorry, I was just gonna because it was like one more sentence. So it's still probably like Mike said that it's like a smaller amount, but it's probably more than you would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, they already have a system in place with like the glaive. I was
Hmm.
really fortunate. They were well, no, actually, they wouldn't let me buy it back after I melted it. The upgrade, and you can only buy it once, even if you melt it, it's no longer available. I had
Yep.
to earn it on an alt and then transfer the CCU over to myself to be able to upgrade to it again. Um,
Hmm.
and I mean, they have a way to track that stuff. They could literally have just said you can buy back one copy of Squadron, and that also would have solved it. Don't have to worry about the trades. Don't have to worry about anything else. Um, but instead, they decided to screw over their base with no warning.
That's the part that bothers me. But they couldn't do the warning because it would alert the resellers,
Sure,
and that's why it's
but
like if you just made it so you couldn't gift it, it
Yeah.
yep,
fucks over the reseller, and that's it.
yep,
Which also, like, not gifting buybacks makes sense.
Yeah, like
yeah,
what?
I wouldn't see a lot of. I don't think I would see a lot of complaints about people being like, "Oh, I kept this package in there for 5 years with plans on eventually giving it to someone." You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now the other thing that I wanted to say was, as far as the claiming a ship loadout
Hmm.
with the high quality and then using that for duplication or whatever. I think that if you make it so that it comes at whenever you claim it, you get back your XL1 or whatever, but it comes back at 500 quality stock. Whoever got the nice one with your fancy 900 plus materials, or if you tried to take that one apart, well, now you get half of your materials back, but you don't have that and you can't get it by claiming it. You can't get your upgraded materials. That would pretty much solve it.
Wait, what?
Okay, so you can get an XL1 that has 500
Hmm.
quality materials, or you can craft
Hmm.
one that has your 900 quality materials.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you were to try and dupe it, then you only get back the 500 quality materials.
Yeah, that's
So
what that's
that's
another way
the
of doing it. But again, it's
yeah.
just they didn't say anything yet. And
Yeah,
it,
But also
I
that
agree. They should have
and
said
that's
something
also
like that.
the opposite of the way dismantling works with guns. So why would that happen with components?
Yeah, and also it once again, like Mike brought it up
No, I'm saying that
during the
when
talk,
you
it screws up salvages. If
Yeah.
when you
like the
dismantle
salvages
it,
can't get the higher quality, what's the point?
no, the salvagers can. It's you when you claim your ship back that are getting the 500 quality. If you
Oh, I see what you're
disassemble
saying.
it,
Okay.
Then you don't have
so that
insurance.
there's that high
Yeah.
quality one only comes. That's not covered. The quality isn't covered by the insurance. The item is covered by the insurance.
You know what you're talking about? Item loss.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying just have
Or
that's essentially the
you
thing
make a
blowing up.
corpse run for your ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And more corpse runs, but then everything takes so long
But
in the
if
game.
you-
I don't know if I want to.
If I'm taking 40 hours to mine and craft and get that material for that really high quality quantum drive,
well, this
I'm
is
going to
where you're
run
wrong.
back for it.
This is
We're
where
gonna
you're
have a
wrong. You
war
shouldn't
over
be
it.
mining 40 hours for anything like this.
Well, I
think,
agree.
but,
I
yeah.
shouldn't, but I am right now.
The progression system should not be RNG mining, dude.
No, it shouldn't be
argument.
RNG mining.
End of story.
But like a 40-hour effort for like a huge ship upgrade based
Should
on other
exist.
video games kind of sounds right to me.
Should exist.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Yes.
Problem
but
that I have is
hold
they're
on. Let me
talking
jump
about
in.
it only
Doing it, not
lasts.
Hold on. No. Stop, because I'll lose this thought. I'm sorry. This happens all the time, and if I don't say it now, maybe it's like some. I saw it was like an ADHD thing that people do. Is if I don't say it now, I'll lose it and it dies. If the difference between other games and this RNG dog shit in Star Citizen is in other games, the 40-hour effort that you put in usually involves like gaining XP, gaining skill, gaining other aspects of the game that make the 40-hour grind, if you lost that thing, now 20 hours or 10 hours or 5 hours. So it reduces that and it gets better.
You could make it so that there is some sort of a skill stat where you get higher efficiency. It needs less of your higher quality product. Like they haven't said anything about they're doing that, but they have talked about some sort of a slight skill tree or a bonus. You could say once you've made that, then you get a 10% higher efficiency when you're crafting it.
I don't know.
I also wouldn't mind. I don't think
Just
this
curious
solves
what
the
they
problem.
say.
Yeah.
The problem may be solved. That's the whole other thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, this idea I have, I don't think solves the problem, but would be an interesting way to maybe mitigate it or add some complexity. I wouldn't hate of like, hey, yeah, I've made a TS1 with 900 quality, whatever, and it's insured and whatever. And when I blow up, the one that drops loses some quality, right? It's now an 800, and so it's like now it's worth it for the salvager. It's maybe worth it for me to. It's probably not worth to dupe, because as you dupe, it would then decrease in quality. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just talking.
Splits the difference or something.
Yeah. Because also, I
would-
imagine things would lose quality if you threw a size 9 torpedo at it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
just need to see.
I like the idea of that high quality, high tier item only exists in one place, and you get your average quality replacement for it. And that's the insurance is covering the item, not the super high quality. Because then you don't have to worry about duping materials at all. But yeah, I also agree that we shouldn't be spending this long to mine for stuff.
Like there's a lot of problems that need to be solved here, and I'm glad they're. I should say I'm glad they were taking it slow with just weapons. Now they're just throwing everything in there, and it's not really taking that slow anymore. And I think they're about to get hit in the face with a lot of other systemic. I'm going to use a CIG word: systemic problems that are built into their game that they have created over the 14 years and have not dealt with.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Right.
the as far as Evo, just super quick.
Mhm.
I got in. I tried to go run a mission to maybe earn a blueprint because they don't tell you what blueprints you need to like actually craft stuff, and what missions drop them and whatever. And I got out of my ship and EVA'd about 10 feet, and then my feet turned into balloons and I couldn't move at all. And they haven't fixed that in the current builds, so I haven't really got back in since then. Because if you can't EVA, a lot of stuff's broken.
Foot balloon gameplay. Let's go.
Yeah,
Nice.
I can't
Nice.
post a video because it's an Evo, but if they don't fix it before it goes waypoint, you can see for yourself.
And they probably won't. Classic. All right,
Watch
Shark.
them release it live with no EVA. You guys
Probably.
take care.
You too, buddy.
Cheers, Shark. Have a good one,
Talk
man.
to you soon. Bye. All right. Next caller is Rudest. Rudest, are you there? Can you
How
hear
we
us?
doing?
Yeah, I'm here. Hey.
Hello.
Howdy.
All right. It's been December since I called in.
Welcome back.
That was when engineering was in PTU, I think.
Yep.
It's been super eventful since then. So that's actually the first time I was playing PTU and actually giving feedback, and it was interesting how much they were changing it, trying different things.
Mhm.
And since then, now in 4.7, we have like the worst system I think I've ever seen in any game with the armor, and like you don't even need engineering anymore. And I think a lot of people I spoke to expected there'd be a lot of changes in 4.8 with like how weird this is, and there's just nothing. Like, what do you think about that?
The same team just moved on to crafting.
You think- I
So
think
it-
part
I
of it might
think-
be Ironclad's
yeah.
coming, and they're gonna say, "Oh, this has a bunch of armor. You can't even damage it with size 2 cannons or something," even though it's so stupid.
I don't know.
As far as I'm aware, correct me if I'm wrong, with the armor now, even if you deplete the armor, it still blocks the small hits.
No,
Is that or is this
No,
the
it
ship
shouldn't.
blowing up before armor's all gone?
that's not true. When the armor's gone, the small hits get through, and even when it's
Yeah.
Okay. But
gets
it's
lower,
like, if
more of
there's
them
a
get
red
through, I think.
section, you'd kind of expect, oh, that red section's damaged. You should be able to shoot through it with smaller weapons, but you can't.
That's true, because armor is like this all-encompassing thing.
Yeah, it's all over the
Yeah.
whole ship.
Mm.
The
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
thing
yeah.
has to go down.
That's true. But yeah.
Well, that's that specifically is a problem that the next fix-all mechanic Maelstrom is supposed
yes.
to address.
Yes.
The new server meshing.
But of
And
course,
Maelstrom,
So
weren't we supposed to get that in 2025? Like, after that
There's
Star
never
Engine
been a
thing,
time.
everything's coming in 1 year.
nah.
There's never. Oh, that's true. It was part of the. I believe
Star Engine demo.
that
Yeah.
you'll see everything that you saw today and more in the next 12 months. That is true. The 12 months or so comment did involve Maelstrom because it was in that video.
Maelstrom and
Wasn't- Oh yeah, it was that year? Yeah.
Yeah. The video was that year.
Another thing that's kind of frustrating is I really expected the engineering, like when Pyro came, we never got the solar flare thing. Not solar flare, pyro
Yeah.
flare.
Yeah.
I expected we'd get that, since I mean, what's the point of having the engineering and stuff? There's no environmental stuff. I feel like this ties into mining too. It'd be really cool if, say, you saw a lightning strike when you're on a planet, and you're like, maybe it strikes rocks and makes them higher quality. I mean, sure, it's not realistic, but it'd be a lot more fun if you see, a strike of lightning. Hey, I'll go over there and look there. It's gonna be high quality. It might not be the thing you need, but it'd be high quality.
Here's what I'll say to that. What I said right before we brought you in the call, they have a lot of fundamental issues about this game that need to be fixed, and I don't really care if they make lightning make rocks right now. I don't really care about fun anymore. The fun comes from fixing the fundamental issues that are not fun.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, things just don't work.
I'll say with the flares,
or they just aren't fun, right?
Yeah, which that's a relevant part with the flares. We got to play with those at the playtest at CitizenCon 2023, and it was like, oh, this is a cool, interesting new thing. And then the more you played it, you were like, this is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
And there's no repercussions. And so when they removed it, like, and ended up putting it in and stuff, I didn't assume it was a tech limitation. I assumed it was like, how do we make this an interesting mechanic that isn't just punishing and nothing else?
Yeah, people were complaining, oh, I'm gonna need 2 people on my ship or something to because someone has to.
No,
make
it wasn't. It wasn't
but
even. It wasn't even. I need 2 people on my ship. It's just why have a random event that just punishes you, and that's it. That's all it does, right?
Well,
And
they
it
could
doesn't.
make
It
it
doesn't.
where
No, that
environmental
yeah, 100%.
hazard.
You could make it,
Yeah.
and
They
that's what I'm saying.
didn't.
My assumption was that they removed it to make something more interesting and make it better
I would hope so.
than
I
just you
assume
get
that
EMP'd.
too.
Yeah.
At the time when power was added, yeah, when power was added, it should not have it. But when they added engineering and now they're doing crafting, that gives them a good opportunity to add something where if there's a hazard, you go there, you need engineering, but you have a better chance of finding good stuff.
Sure.
Yeah,
But here, I'll
But
just
the
say
at the
ultimate
moment
this.
you kind
ultimately
of
the better
don't.
stuff.
I'll just say this: if Chris Roberts died today and they put you as the leader of the show and decided the priorities, I would not be happy.
No, I agree. They should. I mean, they should fix the game. Yeah.
I mean that in the most like respectful way possible, of course. But like, if you have your soapbox now, and these are the things that you are most upset by.
Oh well, other people are talking. I mean, you talk enough about fix the game, make it work. You
Okay,
don't need
fair.
me on to talk about that.
Fine. That's fair. Making sure that that this isn't like, because some people come on and they get so peeved about like one little thing, and it really is a little thing, and like the armor thing, right? I feel like
The armor
that
thing's
was
kind of a
talked.
big thing. Like it feels like
It's a big
bug
thing,
that.
but we talked about it like 6 months ago, and they haven't dealt with it. So if you do want to bring it up, I think what you said is the best way. Is like, I thought we would have seen more. Like, I really like the iteration they were making back then, and they're not doing that anymore.
It felt like it was on
Yeah.
the right track. Then 4.7 comes, and what the fuck is this? It's the worst thing I've ever seen in a game.
Yeah, and it's okay if it sucks in 4.7, as long as in 4.8 they address the suck, but they don't do that.
PT doesn't seem to have it. Yeah.
Can we make shirts that say "address the suck"?
I mean, I've been playing since 2019 now. It feels like I've only seen 5 or 6 like fundamental improvements to core gameplay. Now they've done lots of good things, lots of improving the ships. The missions are way better, but like, okay, helmet doesn't work. Weapon and ship balances finally got a change, but it's so weird. And the most fun part of this game is bringing a new player, show them stuff, because this game does do things differently. You can't do it in different games. That's really interesting, and you know the workarounds, so you can show them. But then you keep coming back and like, why is this not fixed? Why is this not playable?
Yeah, 100% fair. Yeah, I was just making sure that you weren't like just mentally stuck on those two things, because I've done it before where I've been like,
well, they're just new. I mean, 4.7
fair enough
came with the new armor change, and engineering came 4.5, and I just not got a chance to talk about it because I've been so busy.
Yeah, all good. I've done it before where I'm like, if we got this one thing, the game will be great for me. And then you get the one thing, and then you realize that everything else is shit and makes that one thing still shit. And you're just like, never mind. So like,
I mean, I will say, on the subject of crafting, which is new, I frankly don't want it to come to ships. Like Elite Dangerous, in 2016 they got their engineering, which is basically that on ships. For like 6-7 weeks they got a lot more players on the update, but then after that they lost half the players they had before that. It ruined PvP. You know, they used to have PvP in Elite, and that just went away. And it took like 4 years for that game to recover from having their version of crafting on ships. I don't think it would be bad to just have it on FPS, and you can go to a shop and buy someone's weapon. It's not a big deal. That doesn't really affect gameplay.
Sorry, to be clear,
know that needs to
when
be
you
on
when you
ships.
say crafting on ships, as in doing the crafting mechanic literally on a ship,
no, for
ship
ships.
things.
They
Ship things.
talked about having opponents that you'd add, or maybe they're like blades or whatever, that will improve the ships. Which is basically
So you're saying like
engineering.
crafting ship like components and stuff.
Crafting stat
don't want them to be.
bonuses, plus minuses.
Okay.
Or it might just be pluses.
I think, without knowing what Elite did, I think it was likely more of a balance issue by the sound of it, rather than necessarily
what
the
Elite
mechanic.
did is
It
what
was a
Ingle
combination
Prime.
of balance and the grind. I mean, you got your stuff back once you did it.
Yeah, far
It
too
was-
overpowered. Yeah. That's a problem. Like you need to be really careful, especially in a game that has no leveling system and everyone is
Yeah, that common.
yeah, like the brand new player is right next to a player who's been playing for 20 years. Yeah, you need to make sure that it's balanced. I think that is a concern more than the actual mechanic itself.
Well,
I think
there's
the
a
mechanic is
different concern,
great.
Stars, is that it seems like you would lose them, or otherwise you're gonna have duping. And if you do lose them, it's like it when you have this level, the level you can reach rises up. You kind of don't want to play unless you're at that level. Like sure, elite. Even if you take away combat, you had the exploration. All of a sudden you can jump farther. Well, you were doing exploration, it felt fine before, but now you have this other level. It doesn't feel like you want to play until you're there.
Sure. I think the big thing though, like, so just because we don't like 100% know the stats of components and it's not locked in and stuff, I'll use guns as an example. Like having a 10% damage buff on a P4 AR and then losing that is a lot less brutal in a game like this, because like that 10% damage probably didn't impact you in like that firefight as much as you think it did,
It
right?
depends if you
Like
take one less hit, yeah.
like if like most of, at least in Star Citizen, specifically in PvP with FPS, is just catching someone off guard. That's like 90% of how
That's why
you
I don't
win
mind
combat
it on the
encounters, right?
FPS at all. I think it's actually a good system on the FPS. I just don't really
Yeah, but
get
it's
why does it have to come to ships too? They could just
because
have
it's
it separate.
fun.
Is it?
Because the
It's
whole
I
it's a
don't know.
fucking
It's fun
spaceship
to
game.
progress. Yeah.
I disagree with you on that one. A lot of people in Spectrum are melting down just that it's on weapons. I'm kind of in the middle.
Maybe we shouldn't listen to
I
people
think it
on
is.
Spectrum.
No, definitely listen to. That's what Spectrum's for, Mike. It's supposed to be a great resource. I enjoy playing a game where I get to upgrade my ship. I get to advance myself and have this progression over the course of time and make me care about that thing is very important for me.
So I'm curious,
And I
do you
will
think
care
when
about that
you
even if
lose
those
your ship,
differences.
should
Sorry, I
you
need
give
to finish.
all your
I need to
upgrades
finish.
back?
We've actually been so interrupted today by our guests. I'm waiting for Punchy Stick to come in next round and do it again. Everyone interrupt me at least once, and I'll give you a gifted sub. It's I forgot what I was going to say. I like Space Skim.
Well, you were saying that you really like upgrading and making your ship better.
Yes, the even if the differences are small, if I have worked really hard for that, and it is only a 10% to 15% difference, I am going to care about that thing a lot. But also losing it will not make me leave the game. And a new player encountering me and encountering my 10% better ship, I am not going to have so much of an advantage over them that they're going to just get immediately ganked. That's why I'm saying it is much more of a balancing issue that they need to be on top of, and CRG need to be on top of it, because we also know the current stats aren't like super solid in place. We know that we've got the tier upgrade system, which is a whole different beast that may once again bring up this entire topic. So like, it's a concern. I do not think it is a bad thing. I think it is only a good thing for us to be able to have this mechanic.
All right, and final thoughts, because we have to talk about. We have to move on to the next caller, I should say, because it's been 10 minutes
Do you think
over
you should
that.
get your stuff back when you lose your ship after grinding that?
Of course not.
No,
Okay.
not necessarily.
I do think it's okay. One last thought. I do think it's funny how SaltEMike will always say, "I hate how this game wastes my time making me do all these animations, slowing everything down, getting in and out of the seat, doing the train," and then he's like, "Thank you for wasting my time with this grind for crafting."
Come on, finish your thought.
No, that's it.
That's it.
That's the whole line.
So you say, "Oh, I love when SaltEMike says this," but you also ignore when SaltEMike says the other thing about that in the same fucking sentence, which I'll repeat to you now, is the game constantly wastes your time. So the issue is not that I lost my stuff.
Oh, it's wasting it for something instead of nothing.
No, the issue is that the biggest time waster is that after I die, it takes me 50 fucking minutes to get back to where I was and doing what I was doing again. And if the system to if I lost items, without a simple system to rebuy everything that I had before and go again or something similar or whatever, That's the issue that I want to be addressed the most. But everybody ignores that. I've had 50 comments about that in the duping video that I made. Was, well, I have 12 kids and 15 dogs. I don't have enough time for this. And it's like, that's the point, man, is I'm trying to have them address the fact that when losing stuff, it is not painful. You take more pain away from losing stuff, then you can cause people to lose stuff, and then you solve your economic problems in the game. But everybody wants to ignore that part and just think insularly and say, I'm selfish and I don't want to lose anything. And I'm not saying that necessarily about you, but that is definitely the vibe I get from every fucking comment about that. And they always ignore the fact that it should be 2 button clicks and I'm back in the same ship that I just lost. But somebody who crafted that ship is benefiting from it. Therefore, the crafters are happy and you're not that upset because you're going right back. Like, that's all I'm trying to say, man. It's nothing crazy.
So you want it to be quicker to get to a default ship, but longer sort of to get to an upgraded ship. That sort of makes sense.
Nope, that's not what I said.
Oh,
And nobody
I
wants
did not
to
follow
listen.
it then, sorry.
Nobody wants to listen, so I give up. Rudest, I'm sorry. I want to continue the call. I'm not upset at you in any way,
No,
shape, or form, but we do have callers. Croncy has to go to bed, and I need to eat food. So I would love to continue this another day, and let's leave it there, okay? Again, no hate whatsoever. I really want you to make sure of that, because obviously it got heated, but it's not heated because I'm angry. We're heated because we care, right? Both of us.
I'm just not quite understanding. I'm gonna watch the VOD and see if I understand better.
Yep. Sure. When you die, I want to be able to get into a similarly skilled ship with a few buttons, but I'm buying it from players who crafted it and seeded it at a place that I live.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. So I get right back, and guess what? I don't have to wait an hour for my Idris.
And I
wait 5 minutes for it.
Creating more stuff from nothing that they do.
Exactly. And that solves a lot of problems. Thank you, Rudes, for your patience with me.
And thank you for remove the suck. Getting back to say remove the suck.
Yes.
Big fan of that.
Thank you, dude. We'll talk to you soon.
Mate.
Yeah, I want to make sure, because that was just passion. I'm not angry with them whatsoever. All right, we're bringing in Punja Stick, and I'm moving all the callers around.
Punja Stick, how are we doing today?
Punja Stick, do not interrupt Croncy, okay?
Yeah, I was talking. Can you calm down, Punja? Jesus.
I was gonna say, if I interrupt anyone, it's the Discord lag, not my fault.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Like, I live in Australia. This is not just something I deal with the podcast. Everywhere. Anytime I'm talking to anyone, it's always. So.
Yep. What do you want to talk about, dude?
Well, I've got a couple of things that I want to talk about. One's kind of fighting words territory. The other is just comments on the SCL. They're not doing refining stuff. So which would you like to start with or prefer?
Oh, yeah, because we didn't touch on that, because that was also
refining.
a week and a half ago thing.
Yeah, let's talk refining.
All right. So they said that they don't want to do refining because they want rare things to stay rare, but they've also got a system where they've got 1,000 numbers that they can play with. So I'm of the opinion that they could allow refining up to a certain point, and they'd still have 500, 400, 300 numbers that can still be like, entirely just RNG, whatever, however they want to decide that. Like, and I feel like they should at least make an attempt to add in the material uplift thing, just so that if they decide, oh, the current thing isn't working, we need to add a refining thing, it's already in, ready to go. They just need to tweak the numbers to expand it.
Well, so I like their philosophy that they were talking about during the SL that they brought up before, of like, well, one way to like start to prevent the monotony of just scanning for the best things always, like, just all the time, was bringing in the quantity over quality aspect to certain blueprints. And I think that's an interesting way of doing it, right? Like, if you are looking for a really good damage buff to a gun, you'll go for your like 750 plus iron. But then if you see a 600 plus iron and you're like, oh, well, I don't want to use this on the gun, but I might end up using it as a, I don't think they called it a catalyst because that's the other stuff, but like using it as the secondary for some other blueprint, right? It means you're spending a lot more time mining theoretically. I still don't think that's enough.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that.
And I don't think they do either. I think the vibe that I got from that SEL was like, look, this is a solution we have for it, but like we do need to experiment with other things to see if there's more that we can do.
Did they say
they do
that?
seem set on. It's the vibe I was getting was like that. It was like,
Okay, I got the opposite.
yeah, really.
Yeah,
That like that was that they're like, that's
well,
good.
because the question was
Send
like,
it.
"Hey, this sucks," and they were like, "Well, here's what we have," and like they didn't
Yeah.
say anything else. So I was like, "Is this all you have?" And I was basically with you, where I'm like, "It's not enough." So I hope
Yeah.
you have other things, and then I always bring up the point. Well, like if shit just exploded, everything would be fine. But but yeah, like if they really think that that's enough to get us to go out there and mine everything, no. But then they added the idea like components in ships are requiring multiple SCU of things. Now, like again, that widens my range of what I want to what I want to mine. So that is another aspect that they didn't really mention there. But yeah. So I wanted to let you take this because this directly contradicted like something that I really thought was a good idea that you brought up. But now that they say it about the, hey, everyone is eventually going to have 900 quality then, and then nobody mines, was like, you know what, you're right. So
yeah.
And on the secondary material thing, like that is an option, but I feel like we're gonna be in the same boat that we are now, where we're passing up 700, we're passing up 800 because we're like, there's something better. I don't want to fill up my hold with this lesser material. In the case of the the secondary materials, like if I have higher quality, I need less of it, so I'm gonna prioritize going for the higher quality. So I think we're still where we are now. We just have more
Depends on the
options for it.
scale, right? It depends on just like, so right now with crafting, it's linear, which I've talked about before. So like, if there's 50% total that you get from 1,000, 600 is 10%, 700 is 20%, 800 is 30%, and so on. If that's the same for quantity, and then like the distribution rates of the material, then yes. But like, you are probably not going to like if it takes 20 hours for you to find a 900 plus, and that only reduces the amount that you need by like even half, you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna wait for the 900. You're just going to spend the first hour or two getting your 600, which are plentiful, right?
Yeah,
But
So I
there's
think
also
it just depends on the scale.
there's also this other factor that they like completely ignore here is I can search for my 900s, but then in that 900 rock is the 400 that's in abundance. So I'm still just searching for the 900 and I get the other piece anyway. And it's just like, this does not solve this problem, guys. I don't think.
I'll just say that, like, sort of. That's if your focus is that 900.
Yeah.
Right? If your focus is the quantity, then that's irrelevant, right? Like, if you're just looking for the secondary because you need to craft or whatever, then that won't be the case. But
how often would you be doing that, I guess, is the question. We will only know if they put it in.
And that's also why I'm saying like scale matters a lot in this conversation.
Right. And with material merging, we'll have the ability to scale like disparate materials together. So my only concern there is if it did stay linear, as you said, if it's a lot less, like a lot closer together, then yeah, material merging is the solution. I'm just like, they haven't really said that, so we don't know if that's like something they thought about yet.
There's also still the issue of this only it doesn't really solve the problem, but it only helps with this problem if basically everything is also used as a secondary material in some blueprint.
That's
because
the
otherwise,
other concern I had.
Yeah, if let's say Hephaestonite, if Hephaestonite is only used as a primary material for whatever, then you will still never go for the less than 700 or whatever Hephaestonite. You're still always going to be prioritizing it, which means if you're looking for Hephaestonite, you are still, once again, scanning forever and ever and ever until you get the good stuff.
Right, and if they need to add everything as a secondary to everything else, that just increases the amount of things that they have to continually manage and balance and update.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't envy their situation. They keep putting themselves in these overcomplicated gameplay mechanics that need all these overcomplicated solutions to solve all the problems that they create themselves. So, I don't know. Just keep it simple.
What do you
guys.
mean? A game of this scope would never, Mike. That's crazy.
They talk as it's like this advantage they have, but it's very quickly becoming a massive disadvantage. Yeah.
And then the other thing that I have, which is maybe fighting words, is I don't think that the ship component recovery is a long-term duplication concern. Like, even though that they've not said anything else, there's
Neither do
some
I.
seemingly obvious like solutions that don't require them to like add permanent loss to everything. Or like, the Eve.
I just think
Eve
permanent
option.
loss is better.
No! Damn it!
He said it, we
So
didn't, so it's
close.
fine.
I know, but it still got mentioned.
Yeah, but we mentioned it earlier when I said like what happened to me last week anyway, so we're good.
True.
I just think that by playing other video games that are more fun, they're more fun because of that. So I just keep bringing it up.
Right, but some of the levers that they have are things that we see in other video games. Like if you die, or in this case, claim your ship, you have a a varying percent reduction to the quality that you get back for your component that
All right.
immediately like mitigates some of the duping issue there. Or you could even reduce the item quality on dismantling. Sucks for the looters, but it also means, hey, this boss drop, I'm less inclined to dismantle it. I'm more inclined to either use it or sell it to another player.
You're not wrong at all. What happens then, and this is my bias in this situation, is then it's just less crafting economy than it could be.
It's less. Yeah, I like, even if they went with something like 5% reduction, you still have like five hits of the claim button with something that's over 700 quality, which is a problem, but it's like less of a problem than immediately getting back 1,000 quality every time.
Yeah,
I just wonder, like,
but I think it's still duping what you mentioned anyway. I see that.
Yeah, they've talked about like how they want to remove duping with the bricking system and stuff, but like, how do you stop with how they want salvage to give you material quality? How do you stop that from essentially being duping without also ruining the salvage gameplay loop?
Yeah, like
I think you've got
are salvagers
that are fighting
just
each
getting
other.
RMC that doesn't require quality for the rest of their life now, and it's just boring as
right?
hell,
Like
right?
it has to be something new. They have to do something different. It can't be focused on one or the other.
I just think like a flat reduction in quality, like at either
But
end, either
that
from
wouldn't do
scraping.
it, because it's still sort of duping, unless it was to 500. But then if it's to 500, you're ruining the
that's too
salvage
extreme.
loop.
Yeah.
So if you go from 700 to 695, I can still use 695. I can still sell 695. People are going to want that for stuff, right? That's duping.
Yeah. Or if the guy salvages it, he keeps it and you lost it. Like, sorry, you lost. You fucking died. God.
Yeah. So
take the L.
like maybe they have to try to implement a system where it's like, oh no, but you can still dupe through that. This game's too easy to exploit.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Surprise, surprise! An insurance system where Care Bears get everything back all the time is going to be is going to cause a problem. Like, guys, I played Ultima Online for years, and for years when you died, you lost your stuff. It stayed on your body. If you lost it in the safe place, you were able to corpse run and get it back. So that was like the insurance system there. If you lost it in the unsafe place, you couldn't get it back, right? Or like it was freely lootable by the people who killed you. Right? So you still could corpse run. But then what happened when they put the insurance? And so like crafters were crafting, and they had the same durability systems then too. So you'd have to go to a crafter to repair your stuff, and you have to trust them. You had to give them your stuff, and they had to give it back, right?
Yeah.
Which was like crazy and would never happen today, right? But and then somebody in chat goes, how's Ultima Online financially these days? Well, they made decisions that ruined it financially, and one of them was item insurance, buddy. So there you go, right? So like, what points are you guys trying to make? So yeah, it's like that's the thing that I struggle with is it killed crafting in that game actually, and then they had to do the WoW thing, kind of, where like you were always trying to outdo your gear, and then it was RNG systems in which you had to do it. It was a lot of really stupid stuff that it really killed crafting. I have my bias. I recognize that I have my bias. I want to be crafting many items every single day. because that's what I want to do in the game. And if you're going to promote and say your game is for everyone and you can be a crafter, you're lying with the systems that you're creating, because I can't see a world where I'm crafting every day with the current systems that are in place.
Yeah, I'm still, my like preference has always been like, I understand the need for an insurance system, and I would have loved it to still been like, I pay a fee, I get back money, not items, and that money is not 100% the value of the thing that I insured, right? So I do lose some there, and then I'm forced to interact with the system in order to get my stuff back, whether that's buying it through like an auction house type effect, or redoing some like big quest chains or whatever it is, right? I've always been a big fan of that because it means the loss doesn't hurt as much. It doesn't hurt as much for you, but it also doesn't ruin anyone else's game experience in that situation. So
here's what somebody asked
and we're
me
just
the other
not doing
day.
that in this game. So
Here's what somebody asked me the other day, and I think this really expresses my opinion very clearly. If we have the exact same system today and players got their stuff back after, like, let's say 3 to 5 minutes, even if it's like a fucking Idris, who cares? So long as the insurance company is buying that Idris from a crafted player.
Yeah.
To return it to you, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, because the economy keeps rolling that way.
A healthy economy is the key to keeping. Yeah, it's like, to the person who was like, how's Ultima Online doing today? They didn't take care of their economy. How's EVE Online doing today? Very good. They took care of their economy.
They hired a lead economist in 2003.
So that's why I'm so passionate about this. You guys want to invest thousands of dollars into a video game and not be playing it for the rest of your life? Hello? I don't. So sorry, Punji. We talked a lot over.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting for you to talk there.
No. Yeah, nothing I like have to say is so important that it needs to like override what you're going, like, what the rabbit holes you're going down are.
I guarantee everything you have to say is more important than what we talk about.
Well, yeah, you were like coming to try to challenge our points a little bit, so we came back. I didn't know if you had anything else you wanted to say. That's all. So I wanted to give you back the floor since I took it.
I guarantee you one thing, Punji. This will not be the last time we talk about insurance. Probably in the next like month.
I've said this. I've said this so many times. Yeah. This is the most talked about topic since this podcast's existence. Go look at the titles.
Yep.
It's always in there.
So important. Right. It's so important.
So for us to have differing opinions is totally normal.
Yeah, and I'm coming from a perspective where I only start to get worried when I see them approaching a point of no return. Like the examples that I can think of off the top of my head are inconsequential, but like, ship to ship docking is more or less dead in the water with a few exceptions. That sort of stuff. Like, they've gotten rid of the whole Aurora can dock to other Auroras thing, right? No, it doesn't matter. But like, it's just kind of like
the point of no return. The only point of no return is ship sales, I think, currently. Like, that's never going to stop.
Yeah, that's never going to go away. And I think like we're also well past like the idea of ever losing pledge ships. But stuff like stuff
explicitly
like
a couple of weeks ago they said
you
won't.
You just won't.
Right.
Happen. Yeah.
But stuff where it's like, item duplication, item insurance, there's plenty of levers that they can pull to make it feel either good or at least less bad and closer to like what we've seen with other games, even if we think that those other games like World of Warcraft are inherently bad.
Yeah, World of Warcraft sucks. Sorry.
Yeah. But like even with pledged items, I was disappointed that they didn't touch on how pledged items would interact with the crafting and loss loop. There's levers they can pull there. They can make it so that you can't upgrade it past tier 1. They can make it so that you can't upgrade it, period. And then you never lose your pledged gun, but it's just a trophy at that point.
Yeah, they only talked about it in terms of degradation.
If they did that, it would be the most based shit of all time. Imagine people who bought Idrises for thousands of dollars and would not be able to upgrade them. That would be so fucking based. Thanks for the money, guys. See you later.
That's what I mentioned earlier.
Now we're making a good game.
Yeah. I mentioned earlier there was a Spectrum post this week about someone complaining about the crafting system and pledge items. And it was even dumber than that. It was like, with the current system, if you craft a ship, it's going to be better than a pledge ship, and that's bad for the game. I'm like,
I can't.
uninstall.
How
Delete
could
your
that be
account.
bad
Ever-
for the game?
I don't want
Like,
you in the game.
yeah, like please leave. You're the worst
Yeah.
person ever. But
I really
yeah.
can't see them like applying that to ships, since ships are our characters, basically. But
They're our
you know,
armor,
like,
our gear, kind of
Yeah.
in a way.
I would say that they are our characters, like, full stop. Like they're just
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm playing this character for this play session. Whereas the
Yeah.
FPS guns, those are the gear, the armor.
I see what you
the
mean by character.
guns.
Role,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll,
Got it.
I think we'll always, like, I can see them never backing down on upgrading the ships, but I could see a world where they don't let us upgrade our pledged FPS weapons and armor.
Fair.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough.
I
All
agree.
right, we've been talking for ages,
Yep.
so we're
Yeah,
gonna
we
have
have
to
two
let
more
you
people
go.
to get through.
Yeah, so we got a couple
Y'all
more
have a
people
good
to go.
day.
Thanks for the call.
Doug, yeah,
Have
of
a
course.
good one. We'll catch you later.
Bye now. All right, that was a good call. It's just, oof,
Yeah,
I get into it.
it's fun.
Hellhawk, hello, dude.
How we doing, Hellhawk?
Hey, can you hear
Oh,
me?
no.
Yes.
Ah, yep. I was gonna say
Okay,
our last call must have bored you to death. Damn it.
No. I just let me mute the stream real quick. Okay. As far as there's really only one thing I wanted to talk about today, which was refining.
Yep.
The only other notes I had from the other stuff that popped up, the authorization tech, where they have the Caterpillar module popping off and popping back on. It would be nice if they use that for boarding and like hacking gameplay down the line.
Parasite ship, yeah.
Yeah, and where it could like pop open doors for the boarding team, so that would be kind of cool if that was built into hacking. But
Maybe
other
it
than
is.
that,
Cool. I think I wouldn't be. I
It
wouldn't be
might not
surprised
be a
if that's the intention,
coincidence that
actually.
this, when they
Yeah.
decide priorities, that there's a, because it kind of feels, all right, you didn't need to deliver the ironclad with the modules being removed.
Yeah.
But maybe if
Right.
you really want to deliver these other things, that it makes sense to work on those, and might as well do it on this, right? So like
Which
sometimes
hacking-
we argue about their priorities, but like this one might
Yeah.
make perfect sense. Who knows?
Which in this exact situation as well, hacking was in. It was either the most recent monthly report or the one beforehand. Is them talking
And
more
in
about the
and
hacking
in
capabilities,
many
so-
for a while before that too. Like every once in
Yeah.
a while it would pop up, right?
Yeah, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. I think.
Also
Yeah,
probably a
it'd be
Squadron
cool to
42
see.
thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was just something they ported over, make it work in the multiplayer game. But
Yeah.
But as far as the change that they made to refining without the quality, I'm kind of struggling to see where any of the ships, aside from like the Arastra and larger, even have a place. Because usually you use refining to increase your efficiency for a mining operation, but now that we're focused on, I need the quality, screw the actual quantity for the most part.
Yeah.
It's going to be better for me to have someone in a mole or another miner looking for the stuff rather than refining things on the fly.
They
And
have
right
to
now-
solve scanning. They have to solve
They
scanning.
they do, but I want to say in this particular regard, they've already given us an answer. They've told us that there's going to be refining blueprints. So presumably, those
but the
blueprints can
AI
also be upgraded.
I had to
But
interrupt you.
like
so that
how refining is right now is not how refining will be in the future.
Which is what they
Right.
said, but then when they said other things, they were like, basically, so we're just we don't have enough information about refining to understand. They've contradicted themselves now like multiple
Yeah.
times. So it's like, what is it? I think is more
So-
what
and
everyone's
that's-
kind of throwing their
Sure.
hands up about.
That's my point, is that back in, again, this is February, and obviously all that information is gone now because they changed direction. But they said that the AI and the player are using the same process. So if
Yes,
I can
that's
get
what I'm
things
referring
done at a
to.
refinery, why would I bother flying a ship where it can be blown up in space doing all this up shit when I can just load up an ironclad full of 1500 SCU and take it to a refinery and do it at night when I'm sleeping?
Yeah, that's what I was
There's
going
no
to say.
point
I
in
got a
refining.
better thing. Why would I do it when I'm actively playing where I could do something else and make like benefit from
Right.
that when I can just have refining happen while I'm doing those other things? So like even while I'm playing, I
Yeah.
could be doing two things at once now.
So
And that thing
the
is
Well, yeah,
Arastra
so it
completely
would have
safe.
defense-
to. it would have to be with what they were talking about with refining blueprints and being able to upgrade those blueprints. That would have to be it.
But is that
because
enough
you're
of an
right, yeah, right.
advantage? Because what would you upgrade? Speed?
Yeah, no idea, right?
You
Like
know?
speed.
Well, I guess the
Presumably,
big
like
thing
the
is
yield.
yield
Right?
is the
Yield would be
big
a big
one.
one.
But speed and yield
Yeah.
don't matter if the AI can. If it takes 46 hours to run a refinery run, but the AI is going to do it while you're mining, does it really matter?
Hold on. No, it does. It does. Because what Croncy's trying to point out is the AI will not be able to give you better yield than what they have now, which is why they reduced the yield to the shit yield that we have now, probably, to make room for those refining blueprints. That's the point he's trying to make, which is a valid point, I think, to this conversation and argument.
And specifically, I'm saying, like, you aren't wrong. There is no purpose right now.
Yes.
Like, you are 100% right. It has to be a future thing, and likely, based on what they've said, this would be where I would see that come into play. Because, yeah, why would I bother? Why would I, like, I would still imagine as well that I could, like, I would at least hope that if refinery jobs are still crazy long, I could just put it in my Arastra and then log off, and when I log back in, it's fine. I would hope, or at least park the ship and do the same thing, right? Because there's enough stations at the very least. I don't think we'll be doing many logging off in space in the future.
But the thing is, I actually don't want refining to be a passive process. And originally, they
neither do I. I would love it to be active.
Neither do us.
I would love it to be active.
Yeah.
But I don't know. When they came out and said that they didn't want us to be able to upgrade things, aside from the fact that I think refinery ships are basically useless now, unless they're the big ones that do everything.
Yeah. Unless something changes, for sure.
Unless something changes, right? When they said the limits to trading opportunities because, you'll just stockpile and upgrade, that pissed me off too, because I'm like, so wait, there's all these other things you can do in the game where you could potentially require those reagents or components to do the upgrade in the first place. So let's say you're mission running and you kill a boss and you get a key to a room that has a bunch of reagent you need to upgrade a small amount of material. They could do things like that to bring other gameplay loops into refining, and they're just like, nah, fuck it, don't worry about it. We're just not doing anything. So there's no depth to the gameplay.
Once again, we're not doing anything. We're not doing that right now. That's all that is. The refining stuff that they're not doing.
We just got crafting.
Yeah, the refining. We just got crafting. All they've said that refining won't be able to do is increase the quality of your minerals. Not necessarily they won't be able to do other stuff, and it'll probably be able to do other stuff.
But so I don't know. What makes me nervous about this entire thing is we're 14, 15 years in, and they still can't even give us the basic outline of the shit that these things are supposed to do.
That is a whole
It's so fucking frustrating.
Yeah. They can't, because the games change. The game changes every year.
But that's the problem. That's the point he's trying to make.
No,
make a fucking decision and make your game, dude. It goes back to, like, they keep trying to say that it's not about selling spaceships, not about this, but they are trying to appeal to everyone in every moment, change everything to appeal to somebody else, so they buy more space. Like, maybe not like that, like cut and dry or that black and white, but it's like this never ending, like, you don't have a, like, they keep saying, like, I'm gonna, Chris Roberts' vision. Chris Roberts his vision is like, I'm trying to think of something funny to say, but it's like all over the place, right? Like his one eye is facing this way, the other eye's over here looking at this, and they're like constantly moving all over the place. Like the goalposts get moved every day, and it's like that. It's hard to get mad at the devs when this is the world they have to live in, right?
I don't blame the devs. Like the poor kid who the first time he gets on camera, he's got to deliver the bad news. It's like, oh shit, sorry kid. But like,
Elliot likes it. Don't worry about that. He's into it. I was just gonna say, like, the problem though, sometimes it seems when you do go like, all right, cool, this is how we're gonna make it without like going through these really annoying long steps, is you end up with stuff like refueling, a mechanic that 1, doesn't work, 2, makes no sense in the game, 3, isn't fun because it's just not how we play, right? And so it's like the mechanics that are developed when it's like more active, if that makes sense, like things where it's a lot more fluid, seem to be working better.
Okay, but refueling isn't a core piece of like crafting is now the core
It should
of
be.
the game. It should be. It should
Yeah.
be. And it should have been when it came out. And if the damn thing had worked when it come out, the UI was amazing. Everything else was great, but they couldn't get the feature to work. And so they just moved on.
But they also couldn't get people to want to use it, even when the
Why?
feature was working.
But-
Because
but
there's no
why?
reason to refuel. There are 80
Right.
billion stations everywhere. And if you do get caught out without refueling, I'm just gonna backspace. There's no reason for me to use this mechanic. It sucks.
Right. But this is kind of my point though. Refining is going to go the same way of refueling.
I don't think it will because they haven't set it in stone. That's my point. I think
they
I mean,
have.
And
I think,
because you
fueling,
have to do it to make the material useful, so you have to use it.
Let me clarify. Refining on ships is going to go the
Yeah, yeah.
same way as
I
refueling.
understand
on
what you're
ships.
saying.
Oh,
I
okay. My
understand
bad.
what
My
you're
bad. Yeah. Sorry.
I don't think that's the case because they haven't set the mechanic in stone. They're waiting to see what crafting is first, seeing how we react to it, how we use it, and then you can go into refining and add stuff to that, right? Whereas refueling was supposed to be a future-proof mechanic, and it sucked. It was bad.
I feel like they communicated the refining stuff to us in that SCL, like after just being like, "Ooh, yeah, so this is a problem," because like the previous SCL was, yes, you can refine your material up in quality,
Yep.
and then the next one was, no, you can't. So they're just telling you what they know right now, and then we just need to hammer them for when it's bad, and then they change their mind, and hopefully they'll get it right.
Yeah.
Well,
And that's what I'm
the
saying.
thing.
Is like for some mechanics, I think it needs to be fluid like that in order to get it right. I there is a advantage in some mechanics to setting in stone this is how it's going to work. There's an advantage to some mechanics to making it fluid and making it work with the game.
But no matter what, it'll always be fluid because they can always balance and tweak and things like that. But what they need to communicate to us is this general idea of why do I refuel, why do I craft, and all those things. And the problem is they remain super vague with that too, to allow themselves to move the goalposts to sell you a new ship or to do whatever, right? Like I know I'm hammering the selling the ships things, but it's to perpetually develop this game forever to eventually release Squadron 42, maybe whatever happens after that. I don't know what decision they make it for, or literally what Archangel said in chat, because it's fun. It's literally fun for Chris Roberts to move the goalposts, and this is just making him happy. You know what? Like that literally might be true. That literally just might be the case. Is like this is like I'm really enjoying developing this game in this way, doing this. Like I get more money and then I make more cool shit, and like I'm having a great time and I'm happy for him. But like, you know, what about us?
One of the tech guys comes up to Chris and is like, I've solved it. Server meshing's no longer a problem. We've got no ping issues.
But what about instances?
We can release it next week. And Chris is like, but I'm having so much fun.
Yeah, but why not more? But like, what if you did this? But like, what about that? And it's just like, that's all it is, I feel like, happens all day.
At this point, though, like, look, if they want to be vague about science, yeah, sure, go ahead, don't care. We don't have anything in the game. But refining, we've had our hands on it in some form or fashion for a while now. We need a process, a general frickin' process to understand how everything comes together. And if you can't do that, like, what the hell, guys?
Yeah,
you should be able to use existing mechanics to piece something together that has more depth and brings more people together. Because everything I'm seeing is just they're siloing people, and that's not a good MMO.
100%. Like this whole crafting thing, I thought was going to bring us all together, and it did nothing but make, like I said at the beginning, it brought. I think I said it on my stream. I don't know if I said it in the podcast, but it basically made it so orgs would rather work and do everything insular within their org than work with other people, because the game does not support working with other people well at all. But Hellhawk, we got to let you go because we still have another caller, and we want to at least give him a couple minutes. All right?
You're good. Have a good one.
All right, bye, Hawk.
Cheers for the call, mate. Have a good one.
All right, and we'll bring in our last one. Just a couple minutes because it's getting late. Expendability, and yeah. So we apologize, but yeah.
All right. That's all right. I'm ready.
And the issue here is like our first caller was not the first caller in the list, but I don't know who came in when.
Yeah. That's all right.
Yeah.
We get to talk. What would you like
Yeah,
to talk about?
there you go. Yeah, I gotta get going too, so we're all on the same page.
Perfect.
No, I mean, I think everyone said a lot of what I would talk about. I will mention that, much like you were talking about Ultima Online and Star Wars Galaxies and the thing we weren't supposed to say, um, crafting the crafters. I guess you kind of got to know them, right? So in like
Yeah.
Ultima Online, you knew which crafters to trust, or even the shards knew which crafters
Yep.
to touch on Ultima Online. And what was really cool about that is that you would wear the armor that they were, so if you that they made, and
Represent.
if they were Grandmaster, it stamped the armor, like so you would know who was fixing it, and that was just a cool thing. I agree. I want to see crafting get there again to where it matters, and people know who to go to.
Sure.
Especially because, like, I think it's worth noting, like, they haven't come up with a bad system for crafting necessarily. It's an interesting system. It's the classic star system problem of, like, a lot of the stuff around it isn't great, and it's like, how do you make it work with this system that you've come up with that's like solid?
So I think what we've bred, and I've kind of touched with a few people on this. I think we've made a community that thinks that they have to get the things themselves. Everyone thinks they have to get their things. So what I mean by that is, like, we have these huge BP groups that are like fighting everyone has to have every blueprint. And my question to everybody's like, but why? Like, if you get the blueprint, I don't need to,
Because there's
I
no marketplace to buy from anybody.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah.
Teacher Mike stole my answer. Yeah, it's the CIG don't have any systems in place to allow you to do it easily. So it's just a wall that people have. Like, people don't want to bother going onto UEX. People don't want to even type in general chat like, "Hey, looking for blah blah blah," and so they just will do it themselves.
That's I think social tools in a marketplace, all that stuff has to come in if you're really going to expand crafting and get into it. And then just the I'll just skip everything else. The last thing I was going to mention, I came here for Mike to crush my hope and dreams here. I need you to gamify how. So I'm excited about 4.8 and the non-duping thing, not because I don't think you can cheat it a bit. I agree with you. You can cheat it the way you're describing. But correct me if I'm wrong, there's no pattern for the Idris cannon, correct?
No.
So then we won't have people duping and sharing all these Idris cannons flying around, even the Wicklow one, because I know a lot of people were duping them that way, but the Wicklow one doesn't come with a weapon.
Well, the Wicklow one doesn't come with a weapon, but the people who purchase them can still dupe the item in the system.
Right, but once they reclaim their Idris, those Idris weapons no longer work, right?
Yeah, it'll get bricked.
Oh, yeah. So what are you asking me to ruin for you? Because this one's super easy.
All right, well, make it super easy. I'm asking you to. My excitement was
the only way to get those weapons now is by buying them for real money.
Well, okay, yes, but they don't. Do they sell the M kit?
I don't know. I don't know anything about this. I don't go on the pledge store. But with this system, the only way to get a workable, usable Idris is by buying that stuff with real money.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's great. I'm just excited to know that all these Wicklow Idrises aren't going to be flying around. I mean, we had like 5 of them last night just flying around in a big ball. And they all have cannons, and there's no point to it. They can't hurt you, you can't hurt them. It's just they're just annoying. But yeah, that's one of the big things. I want to see it to where, like you said,
do you have an Idris with a laser on it? I'm just curious.
No, I don't own an Idris.
Okay. Yeah, because when you said these Wicklow Idrises, I thought you were like looking down on them. Like, I purchased mine and they didn't. Fuck them. It was what you made it sound like.
No. I just know with
you were spitting on them
and all that.
Game.
Yeah, I thought you were spitting on them for a second. Okay.
No, who I'm spitting on are people who duped all of the stuff to get. Like, I know of a group that, they have like 10 of these stupid things, and they did it by basically exploiting and cheating and duping everything.
Yeah.
And then they put cannons on them, and then they fly around with 10 of them all night, and it's just dumb.
Yeah.
No, the Idris owners deserve their Idris. They deserve their guns. I think there should be a way in game to get the guns. But this
Yeah,
whole thing where
crafting,
like
but I
well,
don't think it's
crafting,
in yet.
but yeah, that's I there needs to also be loss, and that's the last bit I'll say. I agree with you. I think there should be loss. I think there should be a cost to operating these things, especially
Yeah.
capital ships and large ships. You know, if you take a capital ship all night, it should cost like your org bank should be putting into it to get that thing to run for the night.
It should hurt your
Um,
feelings.
I'm really waiting on like the only actual loss thing that they've brought up was like durability, and I'm really curious to see how that ends up working, and hopefully we see it like next patch or something.
But
like,
then
it
they
needs to
talked
be
about it,
soon.
and Jared kind of like, reverse engineered how many hours it would take for a quantum drive to fall apart, and it was like 100 hours. So I have to
He
craft
did say
one
that, but
quantum drive every 100
also
hours.
preface it with like, I don't actually know how long it'll be. This is just
Yeah,
an example.
and all the
It's
devs
just
were
a
like,
random number.
"Don't do that, please."
Yeah.
You asshole.
What do you mean? Everyone
don't
who's watching this
quantify
will
these.
take it 100%. Yeah.
Maybe we don't quantify these numbers, so Mike doesn't say exactly what he just said, right? But yeah,
no, there has to be costs. The economy's broken, of course, but that's I don't want to see more time necessarily. Time is a thing you could balance. Maybe if in the future pledge ships could take more time to get back, so your pledge item, if you lose it, okay, it takes a week to get your Idris back, but you can always buy a regular Idris off the marketplace and get it back instantly. And I don't know. There's
I've been
things they could
fighting that
maybe
to
do.
death. I've been fighting that to death because I've had DMs about it and stuff too. Is like what about the timer to get your stuff back? They can extend those, and it's like that is the worst mechanic they've ever come up with in the history of gaming. So you're telling me the thing that I was just doing and having a great time with, but I just happened to lose. Oh, by the way, take an hour break.
Yeah.
And don't do that anymore.
Sorry, what is this? The prism system that they came up with 5 years ago that is really stupid and didn't end up working at all?
Yeah, no, I don't agree with long timers. I also don't agree with endless spawning of ships. Battles never end, all that stuff. And
they would end if it hurt their wallet.
That's what's gonna is if there was a loss, like I wouldn't feel comfortable just flying in with like a Perseus into a ball of 15 people and just we're shooting and trying to kill people, and I'm gonna ram this ship because I can, if I knew that it's gonna cost me half of what I own.
Exactly.
It's also like, if there was loss, I would take out my prospector instead of my mole a bunch of times because I don't want to risk losing my mole necessarily, right?
But that's also
There's
inherently bad,
so
right?
much-
There's negatives to both conversations. Like like you have these really cool things and you never take them out and fly them. So that's the argument against loss,
Sure.
and I totally understand that. So that's kind of what I like about like the instancing system and shit like that is you go back to your instance and you corpse run your ship. If it dies, you maybe get it back, and maybe you don't PvP with this unless it really matters. But so I totally understand both arguments when I mention loss, that there is this negative to loss, right? Like people don't risk their Titans in EVE Online as often as people would like them to because they don't want to risk them, so on and so forth. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you reminded me of something else. I
Make this one quick if you can.
Yeah, we'll
that's
end
it.
on this.
I'm gonna give you the hot take maybe, but I think that this rock breaker thing, that was a failed experiment with the instance being the same as the open, but just costing more AUC. There's no point. Everyone's just doing even I'm just doing the instanced one because it's the same. There's no point to doing the other one.
It was like they took the idea of the salvage mission when that first came out and then like made it not matter. Like it's weirder to me, right? Because it's like the one. So when I say the salvage mission, I mean like the public one that would come up and then everyone would fight over it. Which I forget what it's called now. Was like a really cool idea, but it was also a unique mission. And like here, it's like this is the exact same thing. I think the only difference is that, other than it being public, is that some vandals spawn at the end, and it's not like they're hard to kill or anything like that. It's not necessarily an actual risk increaser. Yeah.
our
Yeah.
org did the Rockbreaker contested ones, and we were finding like
Mhm.
really high quality Ceruleum. But
We
I don't know
got-
if it was just
yeah.
luck.
It was luck. We did 2 contested ones the other week, and we didn't find a single rock above 700.
Well, when was the other week? Because I think it was it in dot one?
Yeah, in .1.
Okay, because I think .1 they were like, ooh, maybe the things changed, so maybe we just got lucky. We got like really high quality Ceruleum, like 960 something or something like that.
Yeah, we didn't see any of that, but like, it certainly did not feel better than doing the private, but it was obviously we didn't have to spend as much, but still.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious if like maybe we're missing something here, but maybe not. All right, expendability.
Yep. All right, good talking to you guys.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
gonna head
Appreciate
out.
the call.
Be good, man.
Yeah, bring back Go Solo.
Yeah, in a way.
Gotcha, mate. Yeah.
Eve ESS system would be amazing. But all right,
Mhm.
that is the show. So it's time for both of us to rest and eat. But it got heated today in a good way. I think
Oh, it was
respectfully.
great.
That was
It was some
awesome.
fantastic conversations.
Everybody was super cool about it. The chat didn't get
Yeah.
upset. Nobody like it's just I love this. This is what like makes me so happy about streaming and talking about these kind of things is I have my hill and I still haven't had anybody convince me that I should die on a different hill yet. So, all right, I'm gonna get going and we'll let you guys go. So everybody, hit the follow button if you're watching on Twitch. Like if you guys are on YouTube. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. Check out me and Croncy on Twitch. I'm sure 4.8 might go wave 1 today, possibly tomorrow. So check us out. We'll be diving into it and having a good time with that. And yes, dog. And don't forget, everybody, to answer the call. And we'll catch you guys next week. All right. Bye-bye.